Okay, hello, hello. Mars, you're not changed.
Oh, shoot! Darn
Tisk,
it, I'm
tisk,
still in
tisk.
cosplay.
How could you do this
Oopsies.
to us? Hello, PCM. I have
Hey,
been gifted a cheesy gift of cheese balls from my mother
ooh.
to
Oh,
consume.
very nice.
If needed.
Lovely. Well,
So
I
maybe
would
I
hope
won't be
consuming.
hungry.
I don't want to think you'll be doing anything else with those
Yeah,
cheese balls.
I don't think I would be either. You just got here,
Alrighty.
PCM. PCM, claim the land.
Yeah, do
Do
it.
it.
If you're the first here, first gets
Gotta
the
steal
land.
it from everybody. Okay.
Exactly.
No, it's land ho. There you go.
Land ho, PCM. There you go.
Why are you so angry? You don't want to be land hoed? You don't
want
want
to
to
claim
gain
the
the land?
land? You don't want points? You don't want those sweet, sweet points?
Indeed. Alrighty.
I think it's because we peer pressured him into claiming the land.
That was usually in sync. Mars and I are usually eerily in sync.
Oh, literally the entire day today we have been eerily in sync. Like, PCM, it wasn't just words, it was whole sentences
screams.
today. Screams as well, like freaking out over Mob Psycho and all that. Like, wild. Absolutely wild.
If you have not seen Mob Psycho, PCM, high recommend. Top tier anime.
I'm gonna cry again.
No, don't. Not on stream. Keep it together.
No! People must know how amazing this show is!
Jamie caught the stream, PCM. Look at that. How'd it go?
Hey, there we go.
I hope you got your bingo card, because it might be a cinder bomb today. He is streaming, so.
Yes, I get the feeling we'll be hitting a lot of bingos today.
We hit a lot of bingos yesterday.
I
actually plan on changing a bingo.
Oh?
Yeah.
Really? Which one?
So there used to be one where it was you asking to reset the save after taking damage, but I think Dylan and I have
doesn't really happen too much anymore.
Exactly. So now it is us predicting a joke or a line of the game before it happens.
Okay. That works.
Happens a lot.
That happens enough times. That happens enough times. I can live with that.
Very nice, PCM. Very
Hey,
nice.
you know what, PCM? Sometimes you gotta streamline, you gotta test things multiple times, in our case. That's never a bad thing. Ooh, voices. Very nice. Very nice.
Exactly, PCM, exactly. Very important.
That's the beauty of it right there. Very, very lovely. I think we might give it a couple more minutes before launching into our story.
Yes.
Just to
I have
give
done
everyone a chance to arrive.
some good notes.
Yes.
I don't take notes during D&D. I take notes after D&D.
I take notes during because my memory is terrible. And if I don't write down like funny moments and stuff like that, I am going to forget what happened.
And Mars, you left your notebook here. I can't believe you.
I not only did I leave my notebook, I left my cards, I left my dice, I left my entire Christmas present.
But the notebook is something you would use right now, right tomorrow.
The notebook is something I could have used tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself a bit. I would have turned around and came right back, but I had struggled for 10 minutes getting the roof on my car.
I can imagine.
My sunroof leaks horribly, so I throw a jerry-rigged garbage bag and magnets on it. The magnets are to hold down the garbage bag, and those are like heavy-duty magnets. And when they get stuck together, boy, do they get stuck together. I was standing in the rain for 10 minutes trying to pull these damn things apart. Not fun. Not fun at all. No, I would have turned right around and come back for them, but by that point, I was like, I'm not fighting with that roof again. I'm just gonna have some hot cocoa to warm up, dump some more sugar in my system, and next time.
Just trying to finish up my little.
Oh, what happened to Polaroid
Story.
PCM? What?
Did we get? Is there more Polaroid drama? I don't need more Polaroid drama. However, I did just hear somebody sing as Papyrus, so that was interesting.
Oh, on Cinder's stream?
No, just on YouTube. It just gave me YouTube stuff. We talked about Genshin so much that now I'm just being given all this Genshin Impact shit on YouTube.
Oh, lovely.
Essentially, I have like 2 bajillion YouTube channels, but the one that I actually use to post the Ace Attorney videos is like a mixture of VTuber, Genshin stuff. Like that's that's what it ended up being, because that's what they were just giving to me originally. And
that's amazing.
Versus
Best
like,
lineup ever.
Versus like the account that's like my main account that I use to watch the most stuff is like Reddit readings and story time stuff.
Oh, complete night and day difference.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
That's so funny.
Oh snap, PCM. That's some crazy times.
Oh boy.
That's some Zelda vibes.
That really is. Oh, I need Breath of the Wild too. Come on.
I do and I don't, you know?
I can understand that, because I'm also sitting here like, when the hell am I ever going to play it?
Exactly. I'm gonna
Where
buy
is
it.
my time?
I'm gonna get
I'm going to buy
I'm gonna
it,
own it.
but it's probably gonna sit on my shelf.
Yeah, for years. Until they
It's
announce
like-
the next Zelda thing, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Exactly, and it's like, oh crap, now I need to catch up on that too.
You think you should be worried? You probably should be worried, PCM. It's worrying.
It's very highly concerning.
I'm eating too many cheese balls. That's a
Cheese
problem.
balls.
Yeah, cheese balls.
Slow down.
You always lead in like this, PCM. I always get my hopes up, and then you dash them on the ground. You slap them in the face. You knocked into the ground, and you roll them over with like a bulldozer.
I was gonna say a steamroller.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, there you go. See? I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
We're figuring you
We're-
out, PCM.
We're all losers in this situation.
We're catching
PCM.
on, PCM.
But you have taught us to never expect anything good.
Exactly.
At least happening to Neffy. Poor sweet little Neffy,
Yeah.
who didn't harm a soul.
Little noof.
I-
Blame audio.
PCM, you and Audio share the blame.
We've
okay?
talked about this.
We have
we've
talked
talked
about
about
this.
this.
It's a 50-50 split.
The noop.
The noop.
Noop, noop. Noop, noop.
Boop the noop. Boop the noop.
Ooh, boop the noop. I had to convince Dylan that sea slugs could be cute when I told him about Felix.
Uh-huh. He did not think sea slugs were cute, did
No, when I told him that Felix was like a sea slug, he's like a person or like a sea. I'm like, well, sometimes he's a little slug, right? And he's like, no, he's gonna be so ugly. And I'm like, no, it could be adorable.
No, he's gonna be cute. He's gonna look like Goomy mixed with Snom
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Pokemon.
So I
How
was
could
like,
that
have you ever seen
possibly
Snom?
be anything but cute?
And he's like, no. And so I sent him Snom, and he was like, oh, okay.
yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Once they know what's going on and they have something to like connect it to,
Mhm.
then it's like, oh, that's not so bad actually.
It's just a little blob with big eyes and like
it's a blob with
colors.
chibi eyes.
and the little
Like it's
antenna.
literally a blob
That's
with
it.
chibi eyes. You
That's
can't
it.
go wrong with that. You
Mhm.
can never go wrong with that.
They probably have the little W face as well because yes,
Yeah.
not butt face like Snom. I can't do butt face like Snom.
No butt
I draw the
face.
line there.
Butt face just is not a thing we can allow. But
It just
W
doesn't work out.
face,
W face is good.
very cute,
Little.
very wholesome. I am down for it.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Oh my goodness.
Did you say D and D and D?
No, I said indeed, indeed, indeed.
Oh, we get fun facts about Noof.
Oh, fun new facts. Okay.
I'm very okay. Wait, PCM. Are these gonna be facts like she's traumatized, she has PTSD? Fun fact: she blames herself for everything.
You know, the norm. Oh god, I closed the wrong
PCM, I think you're trying to offer tragedy upon tragedy.
Oh.
Okay, that's admittedly cute.
That's wild.
That's adorable.
I can just hear the flapping though, you know. Like a
Flap, flap.
like when pigeons take off, right? That's the vibe.
Oh yeah, like that big intense flap.
Yeah, the intense flap. Yeah, sounds of struggle, exactly. It's probably a lot of effort, you know. They're tiny wings. For
Fighting gravity,
a whole
as it
person,
were.
you know, like damn. That's why you kind of have to assume that if there were people with wings, they'd have to have hollow bones. Just logical that way. Yeah. Because technically, in order to like lift a person off the ground, like physics-wise, you'd have to have like freaking massive wings. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm about massive wings, but
Oh, you very much are.
you know, if Aster was to be real world physically able to fly, yeah, there'd be a lot more wing there. A lot more wing there. Way more wing there.
Oh,
Woo.
a ton more wing.
Way more wing. Like a dog.
Literally so much wing.
She gets little flutter wings like a dog.
Aww.
Very adorable.
See, that's a good way to tell if the noof is happy.
See, we're okay with this. That's allowed. Right. We can have little things
I commend
like
her
this.
for having a good poker face. I certainly do not.
Didn't matter though, so you know.
That is true.
What's the use of having a good poker face if like the rest of you is just gonna easily give it away?
I suppose so. That be
What?
the case sometimes.
Hello, Jamie. I heard that you have heard PCM speak now.
Yes, the lore continues to grow.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty bad. It seems like it's pretty bad, PCM. It is concerning. Not gonna lie, but we have our fun D&D thing to well, it's not D&D. Our fun session, our Pathfinder session
Pathfinder.
to
Yes.
discuss, to speak of, and I am yes, the archives.
Indeed.
Alrighty.
Shall we begin, Ori?
Are you done with finals finally, Jamie?
Oh
Then you
yeah,
deserve
how
to
are
crash.
those going, Jamie?
Because I mean, this is last
Heck
stream
yeah,
and then it's
crash.
Christmas. Oh my god. It's
Yeah,
like Christmas.
if
like,
you're
so soon.
celebrating, if not, we're in the middle of Hanukkah too. There's
Mhm.
so much going on. Oh my goodness.
Crazy. We're
Literally,
in the final
I-
stretch.
I cannot keep track of it all. I don't know how
It
you
hurts
guys are
me in a
catching
way.
up.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I
All right.
can agree with that.
I'm not ready. You think, Jamie? Maybe you should check. All right. So, let us tell the story as the music dies down. Perfect timing.
Yes. As the
I'll
music
tell the
dies
story.
down, the story may begin.
So this is The Enemies Within, Session 3.
Yes.
All right. Well, maybe we'll lull you to sleep, Jamie. But I put in a little effort on this retelling, okay? So Dylan better be in chat or
okay.
something because he's better better see me do it. All right.
I'll let you have it, Ori. Go for it.
When we last left off, Aloria, Kesimir, Miss Molly, and Lycori had just entered a mysterious room. In its center stood a stone table and a statue with outstretched arms, hands, palms up towards the ceiling. An inscription reads, "In my hands I judge the value of all wealth, raising that which is greater. One of these 9 coins is a deception. Find it using only 2 judgments and receive my blessing." Our first attempt came down to luck, a 50-50 chance. But luck was not on our side. With an incorrect answer, the coins went whizzing about the room, narrowly missing impact with us, before finally settling back down on the stone table. We had another chance. Dividing the 9 coins into 3 groups of 3, we weighed 2 of the groups, and the scales balanced. Taking 2 coins from the remaining third pile, we weighed them, and one hand slowly raised. Now, sure of our answer, we presented the fake coin and received Abadar's blessing in the form of coins and gems. However, Miss Molly noticed an odd mechanism in the treasure room. Upon further inspection, she found it was a mechanism that would activate or deactivate a trap that was in the next room, and it was currently deactivated. Now, not knowing exactly what lay ahead, but we were pretty sure it would be some sort of physical confrontation, we decided to have Miss Molly activate the trap with hopes of luring any hostiles in the next room into triggering it. With the trap active, Casimir conspicuously poked his head through the door into the next room and was immediately greeted by the battle cry of 3 kobolds. 2 of them, the lackeys, ran towards Casimir, spears drawn, and triggered the trap. While one managed to dodge the unexpected spears, the other was not so lucky and quickly became pinned against a wall. Now, between Casimir, Aloria, and Lycori, we all managed to quickly dispatch of those 2 lackey kobolds. Aloria focused all of her powerful spells on the 3rd remaining kobold, which seemed to be the trap creator herself, as she laid down further traps during the fight. However, Aloria, with all of her powers, could not manage to kill the trapper kobold before she could escape down into an unknown spiraling staircase. After Miss Molly's familiar, Haiba, the ferret, walked boldly down the stairs, showing us that there were no traps here, we continued on. Aloria, fresh out of spell slots, and not knowing what lied ahead. At the bottom of the staircase, we saw a big open room that had tables and crates and barrels strewn about in some sort of U-shape, and the spaces interspersed with sort of caltrops. As we entered the room, ready to move the caltrops in order to continue on, we were surprised by a ambush. The trapper kobold and 2 other kobolds with crossbows had been lying in wait for us to come. Quickly, they started shooting, and one of them was a sharp shot, as almost narrowly kept both Lycori and Aloria just barely alive. With that fight and using the rest of our sort of efforts, we did manage to dispatch the final 2 crossbow kobolds and the trapper kobold. But not before Aloria dug deep into her mind, searching for our quarry, Luigi. We did know, Aloria did find out that Luigi was sort of being held seemingly by the kobold leader deeper within this sort of dungeon. So after looting the bodies, we trekked on, and we came to a rather in-depth crossroads. Forward, there was a very harsh and disgusting smell, almost of sewage. And as we explored on a little bit, we came to a stream with one way left, upstream, and one way right, downstream. After sort of contemplating a moment, we decided to go back up a little bit because there was a room to our left, which we explored, seeing a sort of basin, a reservoir of water, and a stone statue of a mermaid. Now, cautiously sort of entering the room, Miss Molly immediately noticed lots of pressure plates that surrounded this basin of water. As it turns out, the beautiful stone mermaid was actually a deadly animatronic, very Five Nights at Freddy's, that would have activated and tried to kill us should we step on these pressure plates. Thankfully,
Mercy the mermaid.
Really? Thankfully, we had Miss Molly to guide us. So, after exploring that room and finding another door to proceed onward, but that being the way we suspected the kobolds would be, we decided to turn back and look upstream towards the direction of this horrible, terrible, disgusting smell. We crossed the river and went up into a cavern where we slowly sneaked forward. And we found two interesting creatures yelling in a language that none of us could understand, and that's where the wretched smell was coming from. Peeking around the corners, Umfalo, the summon, sort of managed to make out that there was actually 3 of them, all fighting over some sort of creature's heart, as they fought back and forth, taking bites and eating it. We were all genuinely disgusted. However, we were pretty battered, so we had some resources that would be permanently used, but the main thing was Aloria, spellcaster, had no spell slots left, only cantrips. So we were at a conundrum. We were at an impasse. Should we continue on down into this dungeon, possibly having to fight these really strong-looking, deadly carnivorous creatures, or head back and take a long rest in order to regain all of those lost resources? In the end, we decided to continue on, attempt to sneak around these creatures up towards another passage that might get us up and around to where Luigi is without having to deal with tons and tons of kobolds on the way to their leader. But with that, the session ended, and we will find out more later this week.
Very good summary, I must say.
Thank you.
There is one thing I have to mention, because I just thought it was so funny. So going all the way back to what Ori explained with that those coin puzzles, and how they were like flying around when we got them wrong. Basically, to sum it up, we had to find the one not of the least value. It just wasn't worth anything.
It was of the least value. Hello, audio.
Least value. Hey, audio.
It was a fake. It was a fake coin, was the point. So it wasn't gold.
Fake coin. Okay. So so my character, Miss Molly, she is essentially a child. She thinks very much in child logic. So the team asked her, well, which do you think is the coin we should give him, i.e. the fake coin? And Miss Molly says, well, I think it should be 7. 7's a lucky number after all. And like, just playing her, I was like, that is something she would say, because she's a child. That is child logic. And what made it even funnier is after 2 attempts, it was 7. It was the 7th coin.
Which was just luck.
I just thought it was a hell of a coincidence.
Indeed.
Like, honestly, I wanted to ask our DM Dylan about that. Like, how'd you feel when Molly was like, oh, I think it's 7? And it's like, how'd they figure it out?
Well, I do know that it randomized after every attempt. So we couldn't just go down the line and, like, guess. So it was just luck that, like, the second time ended up being 7 as the right one. Like, I'm pretty sure he just rolls, like, a D9 or something and picks the number.
Oh, is that how it goes? Okay.
Something like that, probably. But
Okay,
I do know
that
that
makes
it was random.
I'm just thinking for story purposes, what a heck of a coincidence.
Indeed.
We also had some really good character moments in there too. I believe Ori mentioned my ferret Haiba was checking out the staircase for traps. There was a whole moment where everyone was concerned that they'd have to explain to Miss Molly, oh, well, Haiba can't come back anymore.
Yeah, really, it was
Ran into a trap.
Worried. Well,
I know, like, Corey breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah, it would have definitely been like, oh boy, was not ready for that. But he lived, he was fine.
But, I don't know, we weren't in trouble that session, but one of the players, Aloria, was out of spell slots for
like
a
most
good
of
chunk.
the time.
Yeah.
He
So
sort of
it
decided
was a little nerve-wracking, just a bit.
his players sort of decided that that first kobold battle was like the battle, for whatever reason, and
I mean, we've been battling a lot of kobolds.
just spent it all, like first fight of the session. So I that's one way to play.
Sometimes that happens,
Dylan likes playing that way.
Especially, well, especially playing with Dylan, we just cannot trust that it will not be challenging.
More. Oh, and we leveled up. We leveled to 2.
We did. We made it to level 2. So that means we got to pick. Is it ancestries?
No. So at level 2, we got some certain things.
It's
we got
something else that starts with
Yep,
A,
I'll
isn't
mention
it?
it. We got some class, like subclass related stuff, but then we also got. This is specifically an optional rule. There in
Honestly,
Pathfinder,
it's so cool. I
is
love it
something
personally.
called archetypes, and archetypes
Archetype.
are essentially
That's
free
right.
feats that are essentially feats in like a skill tree. So you would get to choose either feats from the archetype or feats from your like class or everything. That's how it normally works. However, you can play with the optional rule of getting a free archetype, where at those levels where we would get archetype skills, we also just get the archetype skill on top, right? So we're a little stronger than we would normally be, because usually it's a side grade. Now it's actually an upgrade, because we're not trading it off. We're playing with this rule because, one, we're level 1, it was kind of like sad that it felt like we didn't have a lot of things to do, and 2, I think it's just because we're very like, we're skilled with ttrpgs, right? Like we know what's up now, so it is funner.
We
I'm
definitely
gonna say
have
it's
the
funner.
knowledge.
I would definitely say it's funner. So, we got all those, and I'm very excited to play tomorrow with that.
Yes. Oh, same.
Very, very good. Very fun.
Gonna be a good time.
So yeah, that was our session. I hope this was a bit more storytelling vibes than recounting.
No, Ori, you definitely have a different vibe of telling stories than me. I'm just kind of like, oh, let me go off my rambling notes.
So what I actually did is I don't take notes during the session. I took notes afterwards. So like just today. And it's like, okay, what am I doing? It's like, okay, now let me sit and remember the important parts, right? Because that's what means that you do recount PCM. So that was like the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I definitely recount.
Well, Jamie, if I didn't do this recap once a week, I wouldn't take any notes at all. I wouldn't take any notes at all. However, because I do this recap, Dylan suggested like marking it down, and that's easier than trying to go like fully off the fly, right? To like actually tell
Which
like, a
is
story.
a smart move, because then you don't have to be like, wait, did it happen that way or did it happen that way?
So I like wrote down like the order that things happened in, the brief things that I remember, because the things that you remember are the things that are like important, right? So it's like, I don't, if something random happened, or I specifically like skipped portions, like I remember a lot more than I said, but they're not like particularly important,
Most of them are just fun little side bits, but I always like to include those because I think
like
they
those
add
are
a
for
touch of
us.
personality.
I feel like those are for us, right?
Definitely,
those are for us.
definitely the close jokes.
Yeah.
Like those I would not share. But I just thought the little thing about guessing 7 was too funny to not.
But what I will say, guys, is that if you want to solve puzzles in your tabletop RPG games, you should have watched Cyber Chase.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm the one who came up with how to solve the puzzle, and I came up with the first idea as well, which was slightly different. But it was literally because when we first encountered the puzzle, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I have heard of this puzzle before. And I'm just like trying to sit here, I'm like, where have I heard of this puzzle before? And I didn't look anything
episode?
up. No, I literally, I refused to look it all up, right? Like I didn't want to look it up because that'd be cheating, and I didn't want to cheat. So I'm just sitting here.
Oh, yeah,
and
totally.
I'm like, okay. Yeah, okay. And I thought about it. And then so I had like the one that gave us the 50-50, but then it was actually during the session that I figured out the like actual answer.
Yeah.
And I felt good. I like puzzles.
And it was very effective. It only took us 2 tries.
Yeah.
To get it done.
We did talk a lot about it though.
Which is better than our usual record.
We did spend a lot of time talking about it. There's no.
We did, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
We certainly had enough time because we didn't play on our usual Saturday. We played on Sunday in the middle of the day. So if we wanted to, I mean, we certainly had the time for it.
Mm-hmm. And this time we made a plan and then we stuck to the plan.
Yes.
Casimir's player though was very funny. We like came up with the answer and then he goes like, no. Same like let's do it this way, which was the same way that we just said, and we're like, yes, that's what we said.
Like Corey's just like, yes, that's what I said.
That is exactly what I wanted to say. Like that's exactly what we just agreed on doing. And he's like, oh. Okay, then we'll do.
Well, okay then. We're in agreement. Yay.
It's like, yes, we were, always.
I mean, that could be a character thing.
I think that was just a player thing, if I'm being honest. He's always a little distracted, usually, so. He's doing something else.
Valid. We all got that sometimes.
Well, I would lie if I say I'm not, like, kind of drawing while we play, but, like, if we're in combat or like doing the, you know,
puzzles,
the puzzle, it's like I'm sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, you know, how do I do this specific one? Full brain power.
See, honestly, as soon as you said your solution to the puzzle, I was like, yeah, no, I can't think of anything better than that. And that sounds like the right way to do it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. It was just math.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, as soon as you said, I was like, yeah, no, that's gotta be the solution. I got nothing to add. That's perfect.
So it's very funny. Do you guys like puzzles in your game? I find that's a point of contention. So I'll ask Mars, I don't actually know your answer. Do you enjoy having puzzles in the game? Because the point of contention that I think people have is that if you're not good at puzzles IRL, puzzles in tabletop games don't really rely on what your players know, like what your characters are, to a certain extent. They actually do rely on you being good at puzzles. Right.
See,
so
I don't mind puzzles because I do enjoy the challenge. I will say, though, I don't always pick up on what's going on, so sometimes I do need something telegraphed to me. Like, for example, with your puzzles, Ori, where you had, like, the essences that needed to be paired with the certain statues. I mean, we still screwed it up, but after
only
you
one out of
explained it, I was like, okay, that does make sense. Like, we could have logicked our way out of that. I could have logicked my way out of that. But if it's something so convoluted that only the DM can figure out, and then it just becomes like a power trip for the DM, because I've certainly known DMs who are like, oh, you guys aren't smart enough to figure out my puzzle. I think that's where the contention comes from, because, like, no one wants to play with that. Like, no one wants to feel like, we can't solve this puzzle, this is unfair, and the DM is just flexing on us, which I will say has never happened in this group, but I have heard horror stories.
I don't think that's a puzzle problem. I think that's a DM being like, I'm against, like, it's me versus the players and whatever.
But that's the problem, is that it is a DM problem, but it's coloring people's perception of puzzles. Because then it's just like, well, I don't want the DM to do that to me, so I just don't want puzzles in my game.
See, I can very much see the idea that, like, not everybody is someone that's, like, watching Jeopardy, or someone that, like, wants to go and do, like, logic problems. Like, what did I get for Christmas one year? I got, like, a logic puzzle book, which we should do on stream one time. I don't know.
Oh my
I
God,
love logic
yes,
problems.
please.
But, okay, I'll, like, scan them in or something.
I think that would be so fun.
I would totally do that. Would you guys be into that?
I'd be down.
That's a chat plays thing one day, right? That's a chat plays thing one day.
Ooh, maybe next week.
Okay, Jamie's in it. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Well, we've tried those before. Remember those logic puzzles you gave on stream that one time?
So those are lateral thinking problems.
I mean, lateral thinking puzzles,
lateral
definitely
thinking
different,
problems,
but
yeah,
definitely similar vein at the very least.
Lateral thinking problems are 20 question riddles versus logic problems are the things where it's like, there's Harry, Mary, Larry, and Jerry, and they all like ice cream, and they each have their favorite color, flavor of ice cream, but they also have their favorite ice cream shop. So, if Larry likes mint ice cream, but never eats at the Cow Goes Moo ice cream shop, where does Jerry, and then you have to, like, match them all together?
Right, it's like one of those grid puzzles.
Yeah, exactly. I love those.
I love those.
Your brain's too small. PCM, you're not allowed to say this after you killed it on Words on Stream, okay?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know what to
I
tell
would
you.
not be saying that, gotta be honest.
You absolutely annihilated on Words on Stream, PCM.
Literally.
Annihilated.
No, you straight up just showed us who was boss. We could not stand to compete.
We really couldn't.
We had no hope.
No hope indeed. See, I think the difference is like that though. Like, not everybody is I want to do logic problems in my time off, or like I watched Cyber Chate as a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Or people are like, I would just like to turn my brain off and have fun, please. Thank you very much.
Interesting, Jamie. Any idea why that is? Why there's a difference? Are they like different kinds of puzzles? Because I'm specifically talking about like exactly what we did, right? Like this coin puzzle could not be solved by our characters, right? Like there was no dice roll that we could get. There was no like role play that we could do that would allow us to solve that puzzle if the 4 players had no idea how to solve that puzzle, right? Like it was all Ori thinking of the answer. It was not like Corey, right? Like it was.
No, there were no like wisdom rolls, wisdom checks, or anything like that. It was just, hey, players, time to put your thinking cap on.
There was one roll that was a roll that was helpful, and that was like what the scales actually meant, because they actually weighed monetary value, not weight.
That we did need. That
was definitely helpful. But besides that, there was no roll we could have done to solve this puzzle. And I think that there's definitely people who play I see, Jamie.
Oh, I see.
I see.
That can be a thing too, where you're just overwhelmed by the potential answers it could be. I can see that. I could totally see that.
Especially when there's like magic involved, right? Now you have magic, you don't have magic in real life. So I can see that.
Sad.
I mean, yeah. But so it's with like that where I think it's like people cannot like it, because if you're not wired to think a certain way, you're not wired to think that way, and thus you couldn't get the answer in the game, and it would be hard, and people wouldn't find that enjoyable. Where I like puzzles either way, so I like puzzles in RPG because Ori likes puzzles, right? Yeah. So I want them in the game.
Ori very much likes puzzles.
I like puzzles. Like I said, logic book.
Again, in the right hands, puzzles are great. In somebody who just wants to flex his hands, not so great.
Yeah, I think the other easy pitfall with puzzles is just the idea that it's very difficult to make your own puzzles. I'll make riddles.
It's also like with battles. Like, you gotta balance them.
Well, you gotta balance them.
You gotta kind of figure out, like, what can my players figure out and how much information do I give them so they're able to.
But the easy pitfall I see, like, the puzzles coming into is the idea is that it's similar with, like, the writing and foreshadowing that we've talked about before, with the idea that it's like, I know all the information, right? Like, I know the answer, so the answer seems obvious to me, but maybe it's not, right? Like, maybe it's not. So, like, my first ever riddle that I did for a D&D campaign, because I like riddles, I like to rhyme, so, and I find those are easy than trying to do
Ori
this,
is
like,
the bard
math
at
problem.
heart, guys.
So I did literally just finish, quote-unquote, producing the first ever campaign that I was part of, song that I had written a long time ago, but I, like, finally produced it.
Hey, very nice.
So, then that's 2 down and 2 more to go. But I like actually tried it out on Dylan because Dylan wasn't a player. So I was like, Dylan, okay, let me read you this riddle, and if you can get the answer, then they can easily get the answer, right? And then I can judge like how long it's gonna take them. Well, he got the answer almost immediately.
Your players
The
didn't.
party did not. The party did not, and the party.
What was the riddle? Do you remember?
Okay,
I'm
so
so
they
curious.
were in jail.
Now.
They were in jail, and there was 4 markings on the floor. And if I remember correctly, it was a tractor, it was an ear of corn, it was a bean, and it was a cat. Were carved into 4 tiles on the floor.
Hey, you T-Dude. Welcome.
T-Dude,
We're
you're very
talking
topical.
About puzzles and Pathfinder.
T-Dude, farting yourself into existence is surprisingly topical for what I'm about to say. And that is, and that was, so it's, and then there was a riddle, right? So we have a bean, we have a tractor, we have a cat, and we have a piece of corn. And there's like 4 tiles, right? And there's a riddle. And the riddle says, in the ground, I don't make a sound. But when I'm inside, though many have tried, you can't shut me up. And what am I? And you had to pick between a tractor, an ear of corn, a cat, and a bean. So which one is it, T-Dude? Tractor, ear of corn, cat, or bean?
Well, as a cat owner, I don't know.
So in the ground, I don't make a sound. But when I'm inside, though many have tried, you can't shut me up. Any guesses, Mars? We got T-Dude voting bean.
I would say the bean. I thought maybe the corn, cause like popcorn, but it's like you can shut that up. You just don't pop the popcorn. So I'm going bean.
Yeah, it's bean. Dylan got it right away too. It's the bean. It's the bean. On top of that, they were in Bean Town, and this whole sort of thing. Exactly, Jamie. Exactly what I'm saying. And
it was all bean based.
it was literally entirely bean based. The whole like encounter, because they went to jail because they assaulted an officer, and
Oops.
assaulted is a strong term as well. But they went to jail, and they were in Beantown because all of my towns were named after a plant and like a food and stuff like that, and they were themed around that one thing. And yeah, exactly, T-Dude. And so it took them like 2 hours. Cause they're like, oh, if you put like a cat in the ground to bury it because it's dead, like it shut up and be quiet. But you bring it inside, they're loud.
Way too hard about
They
it.
thought way too hard.
In
about
this case, Occam's razor would have been their best friend.
yeah. So
Ouch.
apparently, and that's similarly what. Yeah, Jamie, you're really dunking on them, I gotta say. But that's interesting. Because this kind of goes with what Jamie says about, like, you know, all of the possibilities, right? Like, overthinking it. I once learned sort of I think it was Curse of Strahd campaign. It was one of those, like, one of those box D&D campaigns, right? One of the pre-made ones.
Oh, like the kits.
Yeah. And, I was learning, and it was like, throw this, like, riddle, this puzzle at your players to help them stop overthinking it, right? And what the puzzle was is that it was the first puzzle of a lot of puzzles that they were going into in this dungeon. And so there's a room, and you all enter into this room, and the door shuts behind you. So there's a door you came in, and there's another door at the other end, and both are shut. Above the other door is a spiral of numbers. It starts at 100, and they all light up. And slowly, one by one, the numbers count down, going around the spiral. Inside the room, there's only one thing. There is a water fountain, like a bird bath. And inside this bird bath is some inscription that none of the players can read, and sort of a handprint on this sort of button. And so they watch as the time, the numbers tick down. And that once nice white light, as it hits 10, starts turning orange. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It's red. 4, 3. The players hit the hands, stone, and the timer starts again. 100, 99, 98. These players spent hours in this room trying to figure out what it was. They dipped their weapons in the water. It gives them magic +1. That's pretty nice. Door still doesn't open.
Very
Try
nice.
to knock down the door. All of this sort of stuff. They keep pressing the hand, resetting the timer. Hours. Ready to give up, they let the timer run out. And the timer runs out, and the door opens.
Well then!
But the whole point... Yeah, Jamie, it's probably all the same thing. Yeah. And... It's the idea of to stop you from overthinking it, right? Like, it's to stop you from doing that. Like, it's a magical world. There's all these possibilities. I have, like, superhuman strength and all that. You know, it's to stop you from overthinking it. Is the goal of putting that puzzle in front of players.
Were they better after that experience?
I don't know. It was like a DM's tip video or something.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, I think it's in like one of the.
Man.
It's definitely a common puzzle, Jamie. So I'm not surprised that your DM pulled it on you guys, but I'm glad it only took you like 5-10 minutes and not. See, this is the thing too, dude. Right? Like some people want the puzzles and then would sit there and be like, God damn it, how did I not figure that out? You know, oh God.
Can't
easy.
figure it out.
But then you'd have other people who don't like puzzles and are like, yeah, no, no.
Which is a valid opinion. I mean, to each their own. But
Well, I think
I feel like it offers a different kind of challenge.
I will say,
because you have
Jamie,
the challenge in battles, you have the character interactions, but this is different.
Yeah. I will say, Jamie, I think it also does depend on how much your DM decides to play up the sort of like countdown vibes, right? Like if... Okay, yeah. See, so the violent shaking, then, you know, they were really playing it up. Because I can see that, like, if your DM isn't particularly, like, stressful about it, right? It might be easier to get behind it.
Like, if they were just like, so what's that clock doing? Oh, it's just ticking down.
Yeah. And
But
they're
if
not
you're
like,
saying
and it
something like,
comes
the
red.
room is shaking more and more as the clock is ticking down, like, now your mind's gonna think, clock ticking down equals bad. We shouldn't let it tick down.
Yeah, exactly.
At least that would be my first thought.
And then it also, I think, depends on, like, the disposition of your DM. As in Dylan's campaigns, I think I would be absolutely horrified the whole time to let that timer run out.
I know I definitely would.
There you go.
But it all
okay,
depends
Jamie.
on how the information is delivered too. Because again, if you ask like, so is that clock like ticking down ominously? Like, can you describe the manner? It's like just ticking down like any other timer.
There you go. See, that'll do it as well. So you're not sitting there like
Problem
stressed the whole time, like.
Much better. Much
That'll
better.
definitely do it.
Absolutely. Well played, guys. Well
Yeah,
played.
you did good.
Okay, so Ori, if we're oh sorry.
No. Go on.
Well, I was gonna ask, being on the subject of puzzles, what is your favorite puzzle that you've done in a tabletop RPG, and what's your least favorite?
I honestly think that my favorite puzzle is the one that you guys had with all of the riddles. Solely because it mattered in how hard the boss was going to be at the end, right? Like, the whole point, for everybody in chat, essentially what it was is that there was 3 floors, and then the final floor. And in each floor, there were multiple rooms. And each room was sort of designated by color that had been
So this was
present
back
throughout
in
the campaign.
post-haste,
Yeah,
guys.
that had been present throughout the campaign and designated by a lot of other symbols and things like that onto which element was. And each room had 4 Essence, which is like a magical potion that allows you to change the damage type of your attack to that damage type. So like green is acid, black is necrotic, that sort of thing. And then each room had a riddle over it. And each riddle was meant to symbolize which one ended up being the thing that the final entity was afraid of. The final entity was made of paper, so I tried to make it all things that paper could be afraid of, like fire. And acid, and necrosis because of like decay. And so there was 3 floors, so there was one the answer was fire, one the answer was acid, and the answer was necrotic. And no matter what, you didn't get sort of you didn't get sort of an indication on whether you got it right or not. Just the type that you took. Well, yeah, but is it really afraid of thunder damage? Is it really afraid of lightning damage? I don't know. It, like if you are a piece of paper, is that the thing you're worried about? Like, are
is
you really
it afraid of
radiant
damage?
Yeah, exactly. Poison damage. Like, come on, slashing, bludgeoning, piercing were not options. So that's another thing. But so the whole point was that if it does set it on fire, but you think paper's gonna understand that? Again, the point is there were riddles that were saying like I don't fear the storm, right? Thunder or lightning sort of vibes. Like that was like what the riddles were. But the point was that
they were very well constructed.
No, because they were all the elemental damage. They weren't BPS damage. And the idea was that for the party to pick one of the element types on each floor, and they would have those for the final battle against this entity, which had a specific mechanic where it became vulnerable at different intervals to those 3 types of damage. And I knew that the party did indeed have 2 of the 3 types of damage innately that they could do with or without the Essence, so it wasn't like a lost cause if they got them all wrong. But it definitely was easier because then they would have had all 3 if they got them all right. And that's what I enjoyed about it, was the idea of how much it directly affected the outcome and the challenge of the final fight of the sort of dungeon. And that was my favorite part.
I can see why. It was definitely it was a good mix of challenge, but not impossible.
Good. I'm glad. Least favorite puzzle that I've ever done would be probably solely, it was my first time being a DM, and it was honestly like first time really playing the game as well, and same with everybody there. But it's one of those things when you have a lot of players that like have experienced D&D through tales of shenaniganery, and then they come and play, and I think that was really what happened with this group, and thus is why I don't really play with them anymore, because that's not my vibe. They're fine people, but that's not my vibe. And I had set up this whole thing where they like tried to get to the king, and they had to go through this whole like Legend of Zelda style dungeon sort of thing to like flip levers and find things and do whatever in order to find the answer to remove this curtain of molasses, because it was a sugar themed kingdom.
Hey, props to you, Jamie. That's better than I've done.
Yeah, drank way more tea than water. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm pretty sure most of my blood is sugar today.
Yeah, Santa roll. But
Santa roll indeed.
I'm assuming that my main issue was I didn't telegraph the idea of it being a puzzle enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where the party instead wholeheartedly and solely focused on muscling their way through this curtain of molasses, instead of trying to find like indications of it throughout the dungeon, and thus just sort of spent really long time muscling through it, where I just sort of gave in and was like, okay, you get through, yay.
That was definitely a learning moment for everybody involved, I believe.
I don't think they learned anything.
Oh, that's
No,
sad.
they definitely didn't learn anything.
That's unfortunate.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like they challenge my authority, right? Like it's like, oh, let me, like, can I try this?
Really?
And I would be like, no, and then he'd like, but it would work. Well, you know, we're all like scientifically, you know, oriented people, so they're like, but it would make sense. Like it makes sense that it would work, and it's like, you know, fine. Right now, I have to think of a logically thing, like, why this doesn't work.
Would it?
You know?
Oh, no wonder you preferred Pathfinder so much.
Well, yeah, it makes it so much easier. I don't have to think of anything. But, you know, I definitely didn't signpost it super well, I will admit. I was more focused on trying to get around them using knock all the time. We'll be here, PCM. We'll always wait. We'll wait
No
for you.
worries,
'Cause we will wait. We will wait for you.
We will wait.
Mark your cards.
Yep, that's one. Heck indeed.
No worries. Yeah, exactly though. Exactly though.
That really is the vibe, JB.
That was the vibe, and it was like no, but and it's like it's magic molasses, and they're like, what? Magic molasses would still work. And it's like, okay, you know, this is not getting anywhere. This is not getting anywhere.
Oh boy, that's rough.
Yeah,
honestly,
they were inexperienced, like.
Oh yeah, and that's not to knock new players. Everybody's got to start somewhere. But I think you also kind of gotta like it. When you get down to it, it's a game of cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
The DM's working with you, and you're working with the DM. So you got to make allowances for them, and they got to make allowances for you.
Yeah,
like they can't stifle your creativity, but you can't go so far off the rails that they don't have a plan anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a balancing act.
It is a balancing act. And it starts with not railroading, but signposting. But I will indeed say that I have liked Pathfinder so far because it means that it's like you can know the rules and you can do them, right? Like an example is like how
because they exist.
Well, exactly. An example is how jumping works in Pathfinder. Jumping is incredibly like laid out. Here it is. This is how it works. This is what it does. Like no questions, no nothing, no anything. Here's when you roll. Here's when you don't have to roll. Here's when you need to roll, etc., etc. So now as a player, I know that I can jump. And so now I can have that in my tool belt, right? I can think about it when I'm trying to decipher, you know, how to go about this the best, how to ignore XYZ, because I know how to jump.
Which is always very helpful.
I definitely have, Jamie. I definitely have.
Ooh, do explain.
I can't remember a time that, like, I specifically did it off the top of my head, but I do know, like, a good story about one, and it was essentially that there was a whole puzzle, and there were two statues that had bows, like bow and arrows, that were pointed at the players, and if they didn't complete the puzzle, or they did something wrong or something, they would get shot by the statues with the bows and arrows, and they had to figure out, like, how to disable them through a puzzle. But instead of doing that, the players actually climbed up behind the statues and clipped the strings of the bows of the statues.
Ooh,
so that they
that's
couldn't fire
clever.
them anymore. And then the DM was like, "Yeah, that works," and let them progress onward.
It's creative. It's unique. Sure, I'll accept it.
Yep. So definitely.
See, I feel like that's where you gotta be a little lenient as a DM.
Oh yeah. The time I do it the most, Jamie, is when the players come up with a better, like, esque conspiracy theory than my actual idea, right? So it's like, if they're like, oh, what if so and so was related, and a good example, and this is, it's not really a spoiler, but it wasn't something that, like, specifically became blatantly known in our campaign in post-haste Mars, but it is true now that Dylan's character, Oz's father, is the one who originally had Nuriel kill his princess. And that was, like, alluded to a couple times, and Nuriel thought that that was, like, probably what happened. But that was not originally my plan at all. That was actually something that, like, Dylan mentioned and Nuriel mentioned, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, writes that down.
And suddenly it's this huge plot point.
This feels like this has happened to you, Jamie. Has this happened to you, Jamie?
You seem to be speaking from experience here.
Indeed.
That's how it reads, at the very least.
That's the vibe I'm getting here. Oh, mark your card.
I gotta say, Ori, watching you draw this wood grain is very relaxing.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's almost hypnotizing.
See, there's a reason that I enjoy drawing wood grain, but only to a certain extent.
You've done that to a player. JB, you gotta share. What happened? What went down?
No, Jamie was the player, as the player.
No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how'd you create a better puzzle than the TM?
Yeah, what did you solve? These are the questions.
These are the burning questions.
It's very funny to me that we still in Pathfinder call it a DM, but it's really like a GM.
I'm sorry, DM just, it sticks and it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. You're Shaggy. No, you can't use your power. T-dude, I don't know. That'd be too strong for anything. If you're not level 20, like, it wouldn't be accurate.
That's true. We gotta keep that balancing in mind. Can't be too OP.
Shaggy, how about D&D, but Shaggy is the BBEG, the big bad evil guy. He's the final boss. It's Shaggy. The power went to his head, and, he just had to... He just couldn't hack it anymore.
I mean, if you want to play Scooby, that has to fight Shaggy as the big bad.
Okay. Plug. If you're on Webtoon, and you have not read the Webtoon original, it's not original, Webtoon Canvas, Shag and Scoob.
That's an actual thing?
Yes. In a way. Do it.
I'm looking this up. I need to see this now.
It is a fever dream for, like, the first 15 entries or something. It is a fever dream. However... Okay,
the way it's drawn...
Okay, no. It is a fever dream. Honestly, it's a fever dream the whole time, but it's, like, incredibly a fever dream at the start. However, it's one of those things where it's like you can't tell if the writer, if the creator always meant it to go as deep as it did, or just managed to flawlessly transition from one into the other. Right? Like I gotta say, okay? Like I gotta, It is a trip, it is a ride. I'm not caught up right now, but, damn. It's been going on for a while. It's a ride. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I may need to check this out.
It's got some vibes. It's got, like, all of the Hanna-Barbera Looney Tunes sort of shit going on. Like, it's all together. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. No, you're perpetuating the stereotype. T-dude, how could you do this?
No, don't seduce the enemies. You compose ballads of your wonderful companions.
Like I do. IRL.
That's what a bard is supposed to do. I'm sorry. We do not tolerate horny bards in this household.
I mean, you can go do it on your own time, as long as everybody is okay with you seducing all the monsters, That's between you, the DM, and the other players.
Okay, if you just want a best friend,
Best
that's
friend is
okay.
different. Best friend is different.
That's a good
I'm a
vibe.
bard that wants to be everybody's friend. I'm the bard that wants to make the BBEG
She is Kiwi.
my pal.
For those
I
of you
love
who are
Kiwi.
here for Wonder Song, Ori is Kiwi. Just
Kiwi's
saying.
grand. Kiwi's a lovely, lovely child. They made the Bard from Wandersong plushie because it was Wandersong's birthday, or it is gonna be Wandersong's birthday.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
I'm not joking. Microwave Tree sent me it on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. There you go, T-Dude. That's a vibe. There is, however, it's not a bard. It's actually a cleric that's called the Peace Cleric, and the Peace Cleric is literally shonen power of friendships, the cleric. So, you know, you're not particularly amazing innately at sort of convincing people to be your friends, but you can be, because, you know, you can be whatever you want, kind of. But, you know, so that's an option as well if you want your powers to be drawn off the power of friendship. You know, could be fun. I had planned to play one of those kind of next, but then we have we got Pathfinder, and then we got all my summoner dreams answered, my summoner prayers and dreams, and that's all I ever wanted to be. I love summoners and their charisma, so you know, top tier stuff.
Speaking of webtoon, Ori,
Oh yeah,
you know the creator who released Muted?
Yes.
She has a new project in the works called Shallow Sleep.
Oh god.
It's coming out February 1st. The boys are beautiful.
Of course.
And it looks like it's going to be kind of like maybe a sci-fi type of story. It's really cool.
I had heard about, like, I think
It's got this Grim Reaper vibe.
That was something they were working on.
I've seen it on their Instagram.
Don't know what this is, Jonathan. But hello, welcome.
Hey, Jonathan. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about Pathfinder.
I see.
Ori here draws some D&D armor.
Well, we'll see if you do anything else, Jonathan. Where am I?
T-Dude, I feel that.
Yeah, Dylan actually played a pacifist paladin, and that's a fun. And honestly, that was like the first D&D character I ever drew, was his pacifist paladin, and DM, is this the Papyrus DM? Because Audio Chaos is the Noof DM. So yeah, Polaroid. And I don't think we dare slander Audio Chaos in that way here.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, who knows? Maybe they're very good at improv. That can happen.
My one and only like D&D horror story is with a DM that just sort of didn't end up caring or preparing at all or anything. And
do tell.
Yeah, it was
I always like story time. I'm sorry.
it was a bunch of different friends, people that Dylan and I know from high school, and they're fine people. We've hung out with them before, and it was somebody new to DMing. He wanted to DM for the first time and everything like that. A droid. You can be a changeling, T-Dude, which does allow you to change race into literally anything except like a centaur, because you have to have the same amount of limbs, right? But you could be literally anything else.
It's a pretty sweet deal.
But essentially, it was definitely kind of a meme game. He didn't know what was going on, and that's to be expected. But he didn't want to take any like help from the seasoned DMs, that's your first bad sign, right? Is when a new DM, doesn't know what's going on. You can give them benefit of the doubt stuff, but once they're like, no, but I'm not taking your advice, it's kind of So very railroady, but also very like, if we didn't do it how he wanted us to do it, even though he badly signposted everything, he got upset. And actually what ended up happening is that it turned out he was running the same campaign with another group of people, another group of his friends that we didn't know. And that's all fine and good. That's all fine and good. But he would compare us to that other group and praise them for doing all these things. A good example is that we went to a town where we weren't supposed to speak at all. And it was very blatantly clear. Many NPCs told us that we would be horribly, severely punished if we spoke, like out of turn or whatever it was.
Damn.
So we didn't do that, and we instead found like interesting ways to like mime and to do things and everything like that. She was stabbed, and then I think that was it. I don't think we got anything past she was stabbed in the back, or did we get further than that?
I think she was stabbed in the back. I vividly remember that.
I vividly remember she was stabbed in the back. No, we got further than that. She like nuked them all. She was still fighting, and then Neffy was running somewhere. Like after the ball? It was like after the ball, I think. Okay.
Alright, we figured it out.
But yeah, Vanessa got backstabbed. We got that. I thought they fought. I thought we got a fight, and then the assassin dipped away. Right? We lost the assassin. And then everyone was like staring at Neffy and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. Something like that.
That's right. Yeah, the assassin got away.
But, so we didn't talk. The next time he comes back and he talks about how his other party rallied all of the citizens and formed like a flash mob and made them all talk and do all this stuff and like spoke out, and that was really fun. And it was like, oh, okay, thanks. I don't know.
I think you lost me. What?
So in the town that we were in with this DM, where you told not to talk,
where you couldn't talk and you mimed anything.
We didn't talk as a party. We followed the rules. His other group that he ran the same campaign with also came to this town, but instead they were very memey and shenanigans, and so they decided to instead rally the citizens of the town, make them speak, make them shout out, make them call out to go against these harsh speech rules. And he's telling us about this, like, oh, that's, like, because we were like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we don't know what we're supposed to do. Like, we were having really trouble, like, figuring out where to go and what to do. And it was like, oh, well, they did this, and it was so fun. And it was very much like the vibes of, like, so we're sticks in the mud, right?
Wow.
It was like the vibes that it was given us.
That's nasty.
And it's like, okay. I didn't finish that campaign. I quit. I, like, left... and stopped showing up.
I gotta be honest, I would not have been able to put up with that.
I gotta say, Dylan's a trooper. Dylan loves TTRPGs so much, he sticks out a lot of shit. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. You
bet Dylan has seen shit.
You make me not have fun. You make me not want to go to the session like 2 times in a row. We ain't going. No, literally, exactly.
Sessions last to about 3 to 4 hours.
Exactly.
That's 3 to 4 hours out of your day that you have to dedicate, and that you're also not getting back.
Exactly.
So you should be having fun during those times.
Like, I ain't dealing with that.
Ooh, I like the idea of a noir themed tea, dude.
It could be very fun.
I am a sucker for noir, to be honest. So.
I'm a sucker for spider noir, but especially when voiced by Nicolas Cage.
Anyone see the trailer for Across the Spider-Verse?
I have not seen it. I do know it exists.
Neither have I.
I'm very excited. I do know like the new movie. Like there is another movie coming out.
I don't know where they're going to take the story. Like, I will be honest, the first movie is literally my favorite movie of all time.
Damn.
So they're really gonna have to bring their A game.
That's high stakes right there.
I'm
excited.
Action, it had comedy, it had a new art style, it made me cry.
As long as the story is decent and the art style, like, and the animation remains just as baller, like, I'll be pretty
I
happy.
have no doubt that the animation style is gonna stay
And,
baller.
you know, and then I'll be pretty happy. I think I can live with that, you know?
Also, hi, Anima.
Welcome, Anima.
Glad you could make it. Do what you gotta do, PCM.
Well, T-Dude, if you're interested, you can definitely find people online who want to play. And also, even if you are a first-time DM, you know, because you would be, that's how I got my start, is DMing for a bunch of people who didn't. You can almost definitely find players who are willing to take you up on your attempt at DMing. That's what I'm going to say. Because there is horrible shortage of DMs. So, yeah. Oh, Christmas presents. Yeah, that's mine. That's what I'm feeling right now. I barely got Mars.
8 a.m. Oh my gosh. And then I forgot my Christmas present at her house.
She can't believe what you did.
Sorry, I've been through a lot this week, okay? If my brain isn't all there, you saw how crazy I was going during the season finale of Mom. My brain is gone. My brain has left the building.
You're going crazy. You've only finished one. I have technically also only finished one Christmas gift. I have to finish 2 more by Friday night, and then I have a little more time on the last one that I have to finish actually in January, because I don't see him for a very long time. Well, you know, I finished yours. I have to finish Dylan's and Doug's by Christmas Eve, because they're coming over for Christmas Eve dinner. And then our last player, we won't see him until January in person, so
yes.
I have time on that. Which is good, because his is the worst, and I like to do the most time consuming. So.
Oh, gotta love getting ready for Christmas.
Works out that way.
I had a heck of a time shopping for gifts this year.
Oh, damn, Anima. Whew. Okay. I know everybody here is not necessarily here for the comic, but I gotta show it off anyway, because it's baller as hell.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Oh, show it.
I'm gonna show it after I save it to the right spot. It's actually in comic, and then it's in fan art. This is from artist Milano. Okay, awesome. So yes, this I participated in a secret snowflake an art secret snowflake over in Kaz the DM's Discord server this year, and we just got our gifts today, so he just exchanged them for us. So it was essentially you give, you know, 3 OCs, and then the artist can pick which one they want to draw, and they draw like a bust or like a half body, you know, whatever they have time for, of them. And of course I gave Milano, Houghton, and I did give Griffin just to see if someone would do him. But as everybody knows, they drew Milano, because who wouldn't want to draw our beautiful boy? And here he is! Isn't he great? This is with colored pencil.
Looks amazing.
It's with colored pencil, guys.
Look at that hat, which,
colored pencil.
Gotta be honest, gave me some story ideas.
We got so many vibes out of this. It's so awesome.
Oh,
it's great. It's by
beautiful.
Lime Green Artists.
I adore it.
I'm assuming they're on Instagram or something, because it does have an @, but maybe it's Twitter. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point to look them up yet, but it is gorgeous. And again, colored pencils. Like, I'm in awe. I can't do colored pencils. Like,
this
oh boy.
person is so
Fantastic.
talented. And seriously, thank you.
Oh, Jamie, his hat now does have backstory. Mars and I immediately gave his hat backstory.
Literally, Ori showed this to me today while I was at her house, and I was like, okay, there's a plan for this hat now. I got it.
It's great. It's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. They got the scales, all of the scales. Look at him. They gave him a little gauge because, you know, pirate vibes. Hell yeah. And just, look at the eye. Like,
the eye is great.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Gorgeous.
The scales sticking out.
It's beautiful.
The shading is unbelievable. I'm blown away.
Oh, hello, Bart Starter. Welcome, welcome. Let's read T Dude's little stinger opening for a campaign. You wake up inside a stingy bar. From what it looks like, you must have passed out from drinking too much booze. Your head aches from a killer hangover, and the first person you see is the bartender. The bartender seems angry, as you haven't paid your bill, and as of right now, it appears your wallet was stolen. So you are fully out of money. The bartender tells you, either find your wallet or work here for the rest of your days. What do you do? That's a fun opening. All right.
I like that.
We're getting a hella battle. There's some nat 20s in this battle.
You know,
Running for
PCM, I
help.
agree. I would probably panic too.
We're all panicking. We're all panicking here. And then, yeah, I'll show off because I want to, because I'm narcissistic. The secret that I drew, because I like him. He's fun.
I'm very curious.
out of
I
all
didn't
the-
see this
out
yet,
of
I
all,
don't
so,
think.
so the artist that I got gave me a bunch of, like, honestly very, some of them, one of them is like some Star Wars, like a Star Wars OC, and you know, not particularly my vibe. But then they gave me two like you know, D&D-esque ones, and so of course I went with the Tiefling. So this is the OC. Okay, he's got some funky tattoos going on. He's got some scars, some earrings. Gotta love that. Got, you know, Tiefling horns, all that sort of stuff. Tiefling horns. Which one of you is in here is the one that yells at me about that? Audio? I think it was audio.
I
got this
think
cool
it's
war pick.
audio.
And then, so that was the original. And then this is the bust I drew. I'm very proud with how the chainmail came out. That was fun to do. I really wanted to work on the chainmail and everything. It's you, Anima? This guy's you?
Oh,
was
I love how that came
Or
out.
were you my trade?
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it matters. If Anima was my trade,
sure?
you would have gotten the art already, in theory. Oh, you yell at me. I see, Anima. Okay. No, in theory, like, I got the art, you know. The other person would have gotten the art already. You don't know how to feel about it? Like, you mean the vibe, Anima? You don't know, like, how the vibe should be? I'm glad you like the chainmail, T-Dude. I'm very happy with it.
You can never go wrong
It's
with
fun.
some good chainmail.
I like doing busts like this. I don't know why. It's just an enjoyable time. I can't believe I'm gonna have to change my stamp. The year's changing.
You
Surprising.
do. Well, literally all you need to do is change the year.
I know. That's all I am gonna do. Is it whimsical? Well, what's it Dylan? So I'm gonna tell you, chat. Dylan was a little upset that you thought that his campaign was a meme campaign because it has Mawio and Waluigi and Luigi
And Luigi.
and all
Can't
that
forget
as
Luigi.
mouse folk. So we came up with a very good term, and it was it's serious but whimsical. It has a good amount of whimsy to it. And I think our best example, and you're gonna get to mark your bingo cards for this one, is that it's for the TPK that we had. So mark your bingo cards. For the TPK that we had, the reason that we died is because we believed in Robot Pirate Island. Now, Robot Pirate Island, the way Dylan set it up, was an incredibly, completely, and utterly serious thing that could totally have existed, that totally would have existed, that totally had reason to exist. Yet it's a reference, yet it's whimsical, it's funny, and yet we also TPK'd for it. So it was very, very serious, right? So, don't tell them that it's a meme campaign. Nights are good, T-Dude.
You're calling your campaign?
Oh,
Is it
God.
because it's pain?
Yeah, it's pain, apparently. Yeah. Oh, the way Kratos calls his son. Oh, no.
I think Monty's about to discover something.
This is a wild fight, PCM. They're running away. They're doing comically serious. There you go, comically serious. Alrighty, back to the never-ending wood grain. We're almost done. We're almost done with wood grain.
Oh, but it is beautiful.
Again, it has to be a very specific wood grain because it's a fanta tree. See, I keep trying to make fantasy and tree into a pun, but they're just subpar every time. I don't know.
I mean, it sort of works.
Fanastry? I don't know.
No, that's not ill.
See, when
That's
I
not
do Fanta-tree, it's just like, now it just seems like I'm talking about like the orange soda.
Fanta tree. No.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
No.
Because
Fanta tree.
Fanta tree is just like orange soda tree,
it's
and I
literally
just don't like
boring.
it. Yeah. Oh my god. What?
Whoa! 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 Vanessa, no!
Vanessa's dead.
Shit!
Mark's trees on a cart. Oh, you're right, T-Dude. Crap.
Oh yeah, that's right. Does anyone have a bingo yet?
Yeah,
I
nobody
feel
has
like you
bingo
guys
yet.
should.
Come on, T-Dude,
How
from
could
last
you not
night?
have bingo
How
yet?
do you not have bingo yet? After last night? All the possible bingos? Man, what am I here? I gotta write down. I've said that.
We gotta step up our game, Ori. Somebody's gotta
We've
win a
done that.
bingo.
If I was playing bingo, I would have had 2 bingos right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You guys should have a bingo by now. Come on.
Mathematically. Got their little...
Oh, Neffy's not happy.
I don't think you got there that late, too, dude. I think you were here for like 90% of the show, he said.
Yeah, I remember you being there for a pretty good while,
For the
T-Dude.
good chunk of it. We appreciated. Dylan mentioned how enjoyable you were in chat, so, he took notice.
Oh, you guys were vibing.
You and Kirby, great time. Alrighty. My Discord is popping off right now. I don't like
Yeah,
all
mine
the little...
too.
I don't like all the little icons on it, please.
I got my Discord going off on computer. I got my cat begging for my attention.
Indeed.
I got chat. I got D&D. So much going on.
Ooh, is Nephew gonna kill her? Yeah, do so, Anima. Now is the time.
Oh, a fate worse
Ooh.
than death. Do it, Neffy.
Nice, Bart Starter. Definitely. Definitely. I'm sad that I haven't drawn mine yet, but that's a next week problem. That's a next week Ori problem. We're getting there. But I will draw Cat Noir, because I need to draw Cat Noir.
The
It's a
one
mighty
fan
need.
art Ori allows herself to do.
It's not that I allow myself to, it's like I've made it so that it is like a thing, right? Being that it's part of this themed exhibit yearly redraw, right? That now it is like an obligation in the sense of that it's like, so now I have like double reason to draw the fan art versus when it's just like, I want to draw Fakir. I want to draw like pretty Genshin boys even though I don't play the game. It's like, yeah, but you don't really have a reason to do that, do you? So.
That be the struggle sometimes.
That'd be the struggle indeed. And it's just like, and it's like, I really should continue the freaking Owl House AU pieces of art for Outcast. But right now I'm just
Were those never finished?
No, I only have 2 of them done.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Only Aster and Sinnet have been fully drawn. Everybody else is sketched, but like, yeah, only Aster and Sinnet have been drawn. But I'm like, okay, I need to do it because I want to have one to post like for the internet clout for when Owl House comes out, right? So that I can ride that hashtag vibe.
Well, I was gonna say the next episode is coming out in January, so mark your calendars, ladies
I
and
know, I
gents.
know, I know.
I'm not ready.
Damn, Neffy is in the torture bit. Whew, God.
Oh
All right.
boy. Neffy is about to deliver some karmic retribution.
It's not the glass door, it's the wooden door. Okay. Let's read Anima's current idea for an opening to their
Oh
campaign.
yes.
It's a very fairy-centric campaign, a very wildwood aha, taking all back campaign. So let me read it. I'll try to do it in like a wispy voice in order to, it gives Fairy Queen vibes. Let's see. You wake up in separate rooms, all seemingly identical besides your personal belongings. The sun is blasting through an open window or maybe a large glass door. You all hear a knocking on a wooden door, each visual room. What will you do? Okay, I'm curious. I'm trying to remember, Mars. How many of you can remember? How did Dylan describe it when it was like, so we all simultaneously had the rat folk come up to us to beg us for a thing,
So,
but that it wasn't a way where it was still...
The way it worked was he basically had the same scenario. This rat folk child, or what looks to be a child,
He's not a
approaches
child.
you. Yeah, it wasn't a child, but looked like a child. So he said his bit, and then he made her to separately say what each of us desired in order to bring us on board the mission. So it was the same dialogue for each and every one of us, but then it split off where he was like, to you, Miss Molly, he says he needs help finding his friend, that he can't live without him. To you, Aloria, he says there is knowledge that you seek where you will go, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So he said it individually to each of us, but we each received the exact same conversation, so he just said it. Like, you all received the same message, and it is this. Like, that kind of setup.
So, my first criticism, Anima, is just like how you had to specify it in a little blurb afterwards. I would specify in the opening about the, like, wooden door being the one knocked on. Maybe describe the wooden door a little more, like, is it intricately carved or is it surprisingly plain, right? Is there a aura emanating of it? Are you mysteriously drawn to it? You know, these sort of things.
I would say, Anima, details are definitely your best friend here. Like, maybe describe, like, if the sun's blasting through a window, is it, like, how does this world operate? Is it noon? Is it morning? Can you tell by the way the sun is coming through the window? Do you know where you are? Do you recognize the room?
I think the big vibe things, right? The big vibe things are how...
What I get from this is these players have never been in this room before. They're just here, and now they have to figure their way around, is the vibe I've got.
PSAM, you did not... I mean, I guess you did disappoint, but you didn't disappoint when you said that we lost. That's all I'm gonna say. Breakfast, clothes. Oh!
Cinder, hi!
See, did you? Oh, Mars can't hear it. Chat, did you hear it? Did you hear what the juice? Thank you for the read, Cinder. How was your drawing stream?
Thank you. Also, I did not hear what the juice. I'm very sad. I'll have to listen to it later.
Okay, it must be kind of quiet then. I'll have to.
No, it's not quiet. I always have my sound off because
no,
otherwise...
you can't hear it. If Anima says that they
really?
can't hear it, I'm gonna have to make it louder.
I thought Anima was replying to something else that had been...
Anima, I'm assuming that the no was to you couldn't hear what the juice. Confirm or deny. Thank you.
See, I just know I always have my thing on mute because otherwise I'm listening to Ori talk again on top of herself, and that's just confusing as hell.
But yeah, so what T-Dude just gave an example of one of the vibes you could do with a door, right? So this door is sort of ominous now, maybe. Like, why is it so decrepit? It's mysterious. Versus being, it's like, oh, it's intricately carved. You know, like, I think that's more the vibe your campaign seems to be going, from what I've heard about your campaign, Anima. The idea that it's like this intricately, like, castle door where the maids come in afterwards, and, you know, and you're dealing with the fairy queens and all this sort of stuff, right? So maybe it's like that. You know, maybe you can smell freshly baked food from the other side of the door, you know, these sort of things. That's what sets the vibe, right? Because we got disorientation, that's solid, and then we have like okay, but what could they need some sort of idea of what they can expect on the other side, right? Or at least what they might think they can expect on the other side, because otherwise it's sort of like, why would they open the door? I guess it's the only way, you know? Or who's gonna try to go out the window? That's the other thing. You gotta be careful.
Somebody might very well try that.
I don't know
Somebody could ask you, is it possible to leave through the window?
Yeah, if your players are fairly non-chaotic or fairly seasoned, they might just go for the door. But if they're neither of those things, if they are very chaotic or they're not particularly, you know, used to playing in D&D,
I would say even
window.
Seasoned players might try the window too.
I'm gonna try the window.
Like seasoned players who know what they're doing and are like, okay, I'm going to try to do something unexpected to kick things off. They might try the window as well.
A staff and a mirror. Very nice. What does the mirror do, Cinder? I'm curious. Dylan and I just made a staff that I will have to draw eventually.
All in due time, Ori. All in due time.
What?
Wait, huh?
I'm PCM. Monty? No! This isn't really Neffy being sad at this point. This is everybody else being sad. Oh my god.
What's happening?
I believe my understanding is that Monty was going to propose to Vanessa before she was brutally murdered. Something like that. Someone was going to propose.
Yeah, I know what's happening, but I'm asking what is happening?
Someone was going to propose. I can't believe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not really Neffy now. It's everybody else. Yeah, it is. It is
PCM. You're like writing a soap drama here. Oh
my goodness.
Just got to get all those good feels in. I see.
I wanna finish this, but I also want to draw my other tree. But this needs to be finished. Because Dylan and I just made a new tree. Ori. We just made a new tree.
Oh, is that someone signing on? I hear.
Oh, I can't.
It is. You cannot any longer.
You cannot sneak anymore.
Did you want to hear what the stuff
I
made did? Or did
yes,
no,
please.
we do.
So, right now in my little Patreon shtick, we are doing the Dark Woods Compendiums, which is all basically like a slightly corrupted, evil, more like old spooky fairy take on like the Feywild and the forest.
I love it.
Yeah. So the three things that I was working on today, one is something called the Bramble King, which is basically this creature that is like it's just like a big thorn vine monster. It's gonna be like the quote unquote boss if people decide to use it's the highest CR monster I'm making for this compendium, and it essentially can it sort of acts as like an avatar of the forest. So it has a lot of effects that are more like regional effects and layer actions than specifically things that it does. And then the mirror that I made tonight is a thing where it's a mirror. It's like a mirror that you would hold. It's like, think of like the Beauty and the Beast mirror, except if there's no glass in it and it's made of like wood and vines, and you can activate it to create you can like activate it so that it becomes reflective, and then in activating it to make it become reflective, you can have it do like 2 or 3 different types of things so that it can reflect in such a way that it shows a creature's true intention. It's very fairy tale-y. So it's like you can reflect it so that it shows different versions of yourself basically when you look into it. So that's what the mirror does. And the staff, basically, you can deal damage to yourself to have it do things. Because a lot of the shtick
Ooh,
of the
kind of a trade-off.
a lot of the shtick of the Dark Woods is that it is like a vampiric sort of forest where it largely is like eating itself, or there's a lot of things that like grab you and drain your life energy to become more powerful. So it's basically a magic item that does that.
Ah,
Yeah.
very nice, very fun. Ooh, very, very fun.
That's
Alrighty.
it.
Does the Bramble Sweep work for the Bramble King?
They are. I'm using lots of very similar language in how these things are. Like there's a thing called a Red Thorn Dryad, and there's also a subclass that is the Way of the Red Thorn Monk, because they're all kind of connected to like lore things. But the lore of the creatures, like the quote unquote like hierarchy of like the Darkwood is not real. It's just like something that you would look at and decide. Like the lion isn't the king of the
I
jungle.
see.
So the Bramble Sweep, the good way to think of the Bramble Sweeps is that they are to the Darkwood Forest what those little birds that that clean the teeth of crocodiles are to crocodiles. So
Okay.
they are basically left alone by the incredibly dangerous creatures because they like clean up the leaf litter and keep the forest floor and the
They
area
help out.
around.
I see.
Yeah, they help out. They like literally rake the forest
Yeah.
floor. So like the Bramble King wouldn't really interact with them other than it might like stretch out so that they can like rake around its roots. But the way that the Bramble King looks is it's basically like this pseudo suit of armor. Like there's like a breastplate and like shoulder plates, but the rest of it is like vines and leaves kind of just like mushed together into a roughly humanoid shape with really big antlers. And yeah, it can like whack things, but most of the abilities that it has have to do with it like animating other plants or pulling things out of the ground or things like that.
Yeah,
That's
very
it.
nice.
That's all I have to
very
say
nice.
about it.
That's pretty awesome. I really like that. Oh, Anima just sent us an update of their introduction.
Yes, let us read it. So Cinder, you can help this too. This is Anima
Should-
trying to workshop their opener to the
For campaign.
yeah, for their campaign.
Is this
So-
something that they're going to be reading to someone or?
This is something that they're gonna, as the DM, they're going to open their campaign with. So this is the opening sort of statement, right? So instead of you all walk into a tavern, right? Like this is the opening statement.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay. So
Shall I read this time?
yeah,
or...
go ahead.
Oh right, fairy voice.
Yes, airy, light, that sort of vibe.
I can do that. You wake up all in separate rooms. They are all identical, besides your personal belongings, with a large open window, or maybe a glass door, allowing the morning sun to blast through, lighting up the room. The room seems neat and tidy, besides the used bed and the scattered objects. On the other side of the room, opposite of the stained glass door, there is a wooden door. Oh, and further down, here we go. It is neatly kept and hardly damaged. It has a golden handle, and on the other side of the door, you hear a knock. You can smell the scent of freshly baked goods and fruits on the other side. What will you do?
I like it.
Okay. I like that. My one thing I would mention, when you say the scattered objects, are you referring to their personal belongings again, or are these new objects? To me, that's a little unclear. I don't know if Ori feels the same way.
Yeah, it definitely is a little sort of like, but that one definitely can be easily answered with like a one question. What are the objects?
Yeah.
Oh, they're your stuff.
I also wouldn't use the word neat twice in your opening. You use it when you say neatly kept, and then like a sentence earlier you say like neat and tidy. Or
Yeah, the
something
room
like
seems
that.
neat and tidy. Maybe just
Don't
call the
use the
room
same-
tidy and then
don't
say
use the
neatly
same
kept
adjective
later
twice. The only other thing that I would say
Well,
is
I might be able to help with that because you talk about the door. So it goes on the other side of the room opposite the stained glass door, there is a wooden door. It is neatly kept and hardly damaged. You could say instead, like maybe there's no scuffs or it's intact.
Looks brand new.
It looks brand new.
maintained,
It freshly
Mhm.
polished.
Well maintained.
Something like that.
Stained and polished, shining, prim and prep.
Yeah.
It's
A door isn't really described as neatly kept. Pristine is a good one. It's in pristine
just
condition.
say I look like fucking Bigfoot?
Yes,
Fucking- Listen, T-Dude, this isn't my channel. I don't gotta be polite to you. That is just me. That's what I look like. And it's not Bigfoot. This is my fancy jacket. And
freshly painted. That's also a good one.
and I'm gonna. It's a good thing we're not here because my rage manifests through reality warping, destruction, and entropy. And you would be gone if you were in the same space.
Guys, he's got that third eye for a reason.
Yeah. Cinder's Cinder's
That's like saying no offense. That's like saying no offense, but you're kind of ugly.
shorter than that, Jamie. Shorter
Saying
than
no
that.
offense means
It
nothing.
is shorter.
T-Dude, you're my first of all, T-Dude, you're my best friend now. So you just have to
Yes.
deal with that.
Cinder enjoys
You owe me a
this.
you
This
owe
is
me a
his favorite
birthday
thing.
present. You owe me
Yeah.
a birthday present, and I owe you a birthday present.
Dude,
Second
you
of all-
unlock a can of worms.
Second of all, let me just give you a piece of advice that you can keep with you for literally the rest of your life, for literally every interaction you have with another human being. If you are going to start a sentence by saying no offense, you
Don't.
are about to say something that will offend. That is like a little, that's like saying, it's like
There you
saying, it's the equivalent of saying like, I have a black friend, but you know what I mean? It's like you are red flagging yourself. So, in general,
Did
saying
not
no offense
expect it to go
doesn't
that
solve
route.
it.
Yeah, this is
Saying-
very fast.
Saying no offense doesn't make something not offensive.
No.
Exactly. Oh. Oh,
Okay,
snap.
T2, Jamie, you guys are like opposite ends of the
Yeah,
spectrum
really,
with
though.
those lines.
I
Really,
did
though.
want to give another piece of
One
feedback
is
to
holding out
Anima.
pie, the other one is holding out a bear trap.
Anima, the only other thing that I would say
T2.
is when you are starting a D&Z game and you are opening the game, like it is the very beginning of the game, I'm going to make a couple assumptions before I give this feedback. One assumption is that you've talked to your players about their characters. They kind of have a sense of the world. They kind of have a sense of their goals, whatever. Like they're not going in completely blind. And if that is the case, then I think one thing that is important to do is to do a little bit more, I want to say action-oriented narrative.
Maybe some more setup. Like, I think you could actually ask the players, what were you doing prior to waking up in this room? Or do they not have any memory?
Or also just like lean into the, like, maybe it was because of the dulcimer tones of Mars reading it, but I feel like waking up in a room with stuff scattered around and a mysterious door and a knock, and even if it smells really nice, there should be a sense of like confusion, uncertainty, not suspicion, but like mystery in the
Well,
language of that waking up.
The
I feel
way
like.
I understand it, I don't think it's supposed to be a threatening place.
Yeah.
Right?
So their whole campaign is very the Feywild fairy.
Oh, so they
queens and
know
stuff.
that it's not like they're just, you woke up in a random room and it's not where you fell asleep.
That I'm not sure about. And I'm not sure about. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure answer that.
It's like, Anima, how confused
Oh, they
should the
work there.
players
Oh, if they
be?
work there, then it's whatever.
Oh, they work
I
there.
Oh,
see.
okay.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
All right.
misunderstood.
That's different. That's
Did
very
you-
different.
Okay, they know
Anima,
that.
can I-
They know that.
Can I make it? Maybe I missed the beginning of it, and I apologize a million if I did, but there's no way in hell I'm going to scroll through the chat to find it.
I will
If-
be honest, Cinder, if you missed it, I totally did too,
If
and for
this
that
is-
I apologize.
If this is where they work and it's their first day there, that should be, you should say that. Like the point of the intro is to take the camera and zoom into the moment. So if I was running a game where people were starting their first day on a job, I would probably start it like, you all arrive at this space for the first time, and then you describe what the space looks like, and then you say like, mention, like, remind the players in the moment that they are at their first day of work in a new job, because that sounds like that's what it is starting at.
I might start it off with something like, and I will be the first to say I've never run a campaign aside from starter kits that come pre-made for you, but maybe something along the lines of, you wake up and it's like, you remember it's your first day on the job working in this castle. You take a nice big stretch and take in your surroundings, and then you can go into the belongings at the foot of the bed, the light coming in through the window. Maybe that's what woke them up in the first place, because now it's like maybe high noon or something like that, whatever time you want it to be.
High noon.
Reason high noon is sticking so vividly in my mind is because of Marshall from Phoenix Ace Attorney.
It's always high noon somewhere.
I just have that stuck in my head now.
I would also say that
But,
if this is your first time running
yeah,
the game, or
definitely
first
set
with
it up
people,
where it's a little less, I would say, ambiguous.
yeah, I would be super specific, and I would also spend less time on descriptions of the areas that, I mean, describe the area and whatever, but I would focus more on the objectives and the things that they need to be doing. Not to make it feel like it's like a video game, but especially if it's somebody's first time playing D&D or a role-playing game like this, they are going to be looking for direction. Like, 9 times out of 10, when somebody starts a D&D game, the first thing that the dungeon master will do this whole big elaborate explanation, and the player will spend the whole time half listening and half thinking in their head like, wait, what is any of this? Like, what do I do? And then instead of really hearing what you're saying, they're going to say, okay, so what do I do? And then, so to give them a direction, to give them a sense of like action that they're going to need to accomplish, like, it's your first day at work, you have to go sign in at the home office, talk to the centaur about which offices you're going to be cleaning today, if you're, a cleaning person for the centaur.
Yeah,
So,
Mars and I were definitely the people who woke up in the room and didn't know why they were there.
Oh, I was literally.
I was definitely
I was
under
literally
the
about to say,
like,
as
reading
like
it.
as a first time D&D player, when I did my first campaign as a player, our setup was we had come down to the docks and everything. I had a very vague backstory that hadn't been completely fleshed out, so I was kind of staying there like, why is my character here? Why are they going on a ship? But for the most part, and this is something to keep in mind too, is that whoever your NPC is that's going to be interacting, they're going to be doing a lot of that talking during the first session, because it's all about setup. It's all about establishing the world, it's all about establishing these characters, and it's going to happen through whatever NPC you choose to use. And that's who your players are going to turn to for direction, or at least I know that's how it worked for me most of the time.
I think the one thing I can offer of advice with like new players in D&D is kind of just like, sometimes you're not gonna do what your character would do, quote unquote, right? Like,
oh, all the time. Alar was literally just
You
me.
shouldn't a lot of the time.
you shouldn't.
Alar was literally just me as a sea elf. He had no idea what he was doing, and neither did Mars.
But like, I think a good example is like Mars said, is like, oh God, why is he going on the ship, right? Like, why is my character going on the ship? Sometimes you're just gonna go, yeah, my character goes on the ship. I'll figure out why later. You know, like
Yeah.
whatever. It doesn't
See,
really matter.
That's Ori's play style.
Because especially when you are a DM, right? It's like I as a human, as a person, know that is the way to progress the story, which I
But
want
that's
to
also
know.
the thing too, is that the story is constantly changing and evolving. Like you mentioned yourself, Ori, that the plot point with Ivan and the him and the princess, it hadn't originally been that way, but it just kind of evolved from all the interactions and all the dialogue and everything.
Yeah, but that's a different, that's like a backstory thing. I'm saying that like if we did not get on that boat in the watery grave, like that's a whole different campaign now, right? Like that's a whole different. So there's a point when you being a good player is following the signs that the DM is giving, right?
Yeah, like I would say that D&D is and
usually they're pretty obvious signs.
They can be, but I think that comes from experience. I think that D&D is a combination of thinking about how your player would act and trying to be true to that, but through the much more important lens of always remembering that what you're actually doing is sitting around a table playing a game with your friends where one of the friends is crafting the story. So you should probably be working together with the other players and the person who's crafting the story to like tell a story. And you got both of those things have to work together. And if ever they are opposed to each other, what you as a player need to do is change your fucking character's attitude. Like if your character is ever doing something like that kind of derails everything times a million in a way that other people don't like or whatever, then it's like, okay, you're the one's fucking up. Time to your character. I feel
like you have experience with that, Cinder.
Oh, yeah, I've been playing D&D for too long. I've had stories of all the goods and all the bads. The only thing I'm gonna dip for a bit. I might come back in like a half hour if you guys are still on. But the only thing I
we'll be on for a good while.
Another hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Anima, the only other thing I want to say to you about a first time session, and I'm going to say two things. One, if you're the dungeon master, especially if you're new to being a dungeon master, you should spend as much time prepping as you want, so long as it's fun. If you're having fun while you're prepping, that's good. As soon as you're not having fun prepping, you've prepped enough. Don't worry about it.
Especially with the art, Anima. Looking at you.
The other thing that I'm going to say is that the things like the wording of your introduction to the game is honestly the stuff that matters the least. Truly the stuff that matters the least. The stuff that matters the most is being present for your players and trying to be ready to make the world and the story alive and reactive to your players. And you saying one sentence over another sentence, or you not even having a proper intro at all, like that is going to have such a minimal effect on how your players play the game. What's going to have a much stronger effect is how excited you are, how uplifting you are, and how ready you are to engage with what they're doing. You don't want to be spending a lot of time at the table looking stuff up. You don't want to be spending a lot of the time at the table going through your notes or trying to figure out the next thing. You really just want to be present with your players. And if you're doing that, everything else is potatoes and sandwiches till the cows come home. So,
solid advice, Cinder.
Don't spend too much time worrying about one sentence versus another. I've been playing... all the serious campaigns I've ever played in, I don't remember a goddamn thing from the opening narration. It had no impact on what I was doing.
Not the narration, no.
Okay, I have to dip for a bit, but I will probably be back. You guys are lovely. Oh, by the way, everybody that's here, subscribe to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CinderblockSally. Twitch, I'm the best. I'm the best. Other than Mari and Ori, I'm the best. I'm the second best. The third best. I'm the third best. Okay, bye. I'll be back later.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
There, you can go subscribe there if you have not already followed.
Oh, man.
But there is your,
And as quickly he came, he left.
He leaves indeed. Trying to figure out.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting because, I mean, it could just be me. For as much as I joke about having a bad memory, I do remember significant points. And personally, for me, I do care about the intro to the campaign because for me, I'm a writer at heart.
Well, I'm curious,
I
Mars.
appreciate a good opening.
I'm curious. You say that. Can you remember the opening to the watery grave?
So the opening to the watery grave, I do remember us all being down at the docks, and I'm pretty sure the captain called us over, and we all took notice. And that's how we ended up at the docks. I don't think any of us had it in our plans to go sailing on this ship. It was just like, hey, we were around. This guy was, I believe, hiring, and we were drawn to him.
But that's not really. But that's not really
But
the opening.
But that's
though.
not an opening. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know.
But I do remember the vibe.
Yeah. But there's a difference between, like, I think the players will easily remember, oh yes, we were workers and it was our first day of work and we had just, we were ready to go, tend to the castle or whatever, whatever their job is. I don't think that, but that's a preference. Anima, if your enjoyment is giving this grandiose statement, this grandiose opening,
yeah, that's more power to you.
He did indeed arrive and vanish. That's what he does. That's why it's called a cinder bomb. Look, we've got two bingos now. See,
everyone has their own play style as well, and like Cinder said, he is very experienced. So some people can go right from the intro to, okay, here's my character, here's the story, here's how I'm gonna play. I would say for first ever players though, maybe a little more guidance. I know I super appreciated that when I first started, because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. If that's what you like, Anima, then go for it. If that's what helps set the scene and paint the vivid picture, I say go for it.
That describing in great detail when relating to an important thing is a very good way to signpost to players, right?
Absolutely, because if you describe something in detail,
they're gonna focus
click in
on
your
it.
player's
They're gonna
mind.
Laser in on it.
There's a lot of detail being drawn to this one specific object or room or hallway or whatever you're trying to draw them toward. They'll pay attention to that. If you're just you see a book in the room, you see a candle holder, and you see an inkwell. There are splotches around the inkwell, and you notice some paper lying next to it. It looks like a letter was started, hastily written, surprisingly never finished. Now they're gonna pay attention to that inkwell, because that's where all the detail was. You're making the Grinch.
Well, easy option is Beastmaster PCM, because you have the dog and the Grinch and the dog.
Oh my gosh, yes.
However, what I will say with Drake Warden, you can decide. I have seen many and gorgeous artwork of dragon reindeer. So dragon dog reindeer, I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's the most badass thing I'd heard.
Oh no, they're actually adorable. They're actually incredibly adorable.
I'm looking this up. Dragon reindeer.
Yeah, it's one artist I follow on Instagram, does really cute ones, but.
Okay, I've gotten some fascinating results.
I think you'd enjoy it, T-Dude. I think you should look to find a party, You go online, you figure out how to do that, and, there's lots of places.
T-Dude, there's definitely a community for it in Roll20. I see them hosting games all the time. You could definitely try there for sure. D&D is very much like a choose-your-own-adventure book, except you got multiple players.
Exactly.
It's a group sharing the same book.
Anima, I feel you so hard the way you're talking about this. Like so hard with the, if I just draw it, then I don't have to explain it, because I personally am not good at I don't enjoy writing. This is why I have Mars. I don't particularly enjoy writing or being very descriptive. That's honestly why I like comics as a medium as well, because you do just draw it, right? Mars isn't sitting here describing the plants and the fauna and the flora or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I draw it.
I could, but I don't want to. I'd much rather write dialogue.
I would say that, and this is just personal experience, while drawing is fun and enjoyable, and it's great to show someone an enemy and not have to explain or describe the enemy so they see it in their head. Writing decently well enough for D&D takes a lot less time than drawing really nice. And that's not trying to harp on writers. Like, there's a lot of effort put in there, but specifically for the act of like storytelling for Dungeons and Dragons, right? For tabletop RPGs, it is significantly faster than drawing something, right? Like, if I was to attempt to draw, like I just summarized our third Pathfinder session, right? If I was to attempt to draw all of the different sort of major scenes, that would take me days. However, I summarized it up in like maybe 10 minutes. Technically didn't write the whole thing out in 10 minutes, but you know, like 10 minutes. It wasn't gorgeous, it wasn't a work of art, like it wasn't like I'm gonna put it in a novel or whatever, but like it got the point across. It seemed like everybody enjoyed it. I hope so. I hope you're not all lying to me. But
no, we very much enjoyed it.
I mean,
messing. I did. I can't.
Oh, that's all that
for
matters,
everyone
Mars.
else.
That's all that matters. Chat doesn't matter. No, I'm joking. Of course you guys matter. What did we advertise the stream?
What happened?
Oh, the one shot. So Grinch, so PCM, yeah. So I would go Drake Warden just because honestly as well they're the better ranger.
Drake Warden also just sounds fun.
But did you find any ranger dragon art?
You know, I found some. I don't think it's the artist you're talking about because it looks too it looks too clip arty, to be honest.
No. So, it's like watercolor. It's very nice. What I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I did not find it. Definitely did not find it.
Okay, Anima. It's still a lot of work. Just mathematically.
It very much is. When Ori was drawing things for our campaign, she was like, she had to bang those things out. It took up a lot of time. But now she has her Saturdays back.
Yes, I do. Honestly, you know, DMing's fun, but also like, I'm glad to be a player again. Oh boy. Lots of work. But however, Dylan is very much like, I needed to be a DM, and so you know what? Good for him. He could be the DM. Let's see if we can find that reindeer.
I also feel like his time was cut short in Watery Grave.
It was his own fault. But you know, let's see if I can find it.
I think each DM has their own style, and whatever style you decide to end up with, or whatever style you end up choosing, I mean, as long as you're all having fun, go for it. That's what's most important. Everyone has a good time.
Okay. This wasn't what I...
You don't need to be writing the Adventure Zone.
I'm trying to find...
Oh, I hear ya, Anima. I got a couple presents wrapped.
Oh, I have no presents wrapped. I have no presents wrapped. Okay.
What has Google done to you, Jamie?
So this isn't what I was talking about before. But this is a reindeer dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Oh, I see. Oh, I like it.
Lovely.
I really like
Santa rides it. Look how big.
It looks fuzzy. I want to hug it.
Look at how cute.
That's adorable.
I love it. I love this artist at goma.ly. Lovely artist. They do some crazy shit. Like, look at this.
Wait,
look at
you're
this.
paying for storage, Jamie? Why? Oh, that is lovely. I think I do follow this artist, actually.
Yeah,
they're the
I showed
ones
it to you
who do
before.
the animal dragon hybrids.
Yeah, I showed it to you before. Yeah.
Oh, Ori, you'll
What?
never guess what showed up in my feed.
What?
Remember that picture you showed me earlier today of the OC in the Nutcracker outfit?
Yes, Gurlane! I love her.
Literally,
So
same
gorgeous.
exact picture was the first thing
gorgeous.
on my feed. And I'm
She's
like,
so gorgeous.
how did that get on there? Not that I'm complaining by any means.
That's a vibe, Jamie. I got around it instead by making a new group.
That's the secret.
That's the secret to unlimited gigs. You can do it, PCM. You can finish the Neffy art. I believe in you.
We
what was I
all
saying?
do.
Oh, Mars, I wanted to ask you a question because I need to go get more water because I don't have enough.
Alrighty.
And I'm gonna have you going off on a little, story of your own. I'm curious.
Well, when you come back with your water, I may need to go get some
Deal.
water.
All right. I'm curious.
Awesome.
Our campaign was the first D&D game you ever part of. I'm assuming you had heard about D&D before. What were your sort of like, did you have any trepidations, concerns, or maybe with your other, like, target campaign where it was with people you didn't know so well, were there any concerns there? Those sort of concerns, being a new player.
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, Ori's giving me a tangent to run with. Yeah, no, definitely. As a new player, there are concerns, or at least concerns I had, I mean, for one, if you can believe it, prior to this, I hadn't really hung out with Dylan, Doug, and like any of the players in our group all too much, except for Ori. So not only was there the uncertainty of, will I be able to play well enough? Will I be able to make a good character? But also, are these people just gonna like me in general? So there was definitely that. I mean, I knew them. I knew they existed, but we definitely didn't hang out as much. But focusing on D&D, prior to me joining, I had been listening to The Adventure Zone by the McElroys. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I spent my entire summer listening to it. But I did have an idea in my head for just how involved D&D stories could be, and just how much just how much emotional weight they could carry, or how much they could resonate with a player. So there was definitely a bit of a moment where I was like, oh man, like what kind of story are we trying to tell? Am I able to tell a story that good? And it's like, it's not like I can write a script. It's not like I can plan for every inevitability that comes up in the campaign. Like, this is essentially an improvisation class. This is on the fly. There is no preparing. Not only that, Dylan and Ori both were very kind to walk me through not just the character creation process, but also the entire battling system. And I chose a melee character for my first go around. Honestly, I feel like if you're playing D&D for the very first time, melee is the way to go, just because it's very straightforward. There's no preparing spells. There's nothing that you really need to keep track of. You just have to remember what weapons you have, what attacks they do, and what to roll for them. And that much I could manage. Ooh, a battle axe anima. That's awesome. Gotta love a good battle axe. But yeah, so that was definitely one of my I'm gonna say fears going in. And then the first session came around. I can't remember if we had a session 0. I think we all set up our characters separately, but I do remember I was in calls, like, getting direct help from Ori and Dylan at the time.
Yeah, we
But
don't
we started
usually
our
have session 0s.
Not usually. Pathfinder was an exception.
Well, it's a new system. Nobody knew what was going
Exactly.
on. Everybody else but you knew what was going on then.
Oh no, Anima!
Oh, you don't understand? What do you mean you don't understand spells? Anima, oh no. Oh no.
Anima, oh, you're gonna have to do some studying. It's not too complicated, I promise.
If you tell me what you're concerned about, probably can help a little bit. But continue, Mars.
Well, the first session came around, and I picked a rogue to play. Now, my experience with the quote-unquote rogue character, I've seen a lot of movies, the silent but stoic type, and I was thinking, okay, maybe, like, silent, stoic, but, like, once you get past those walls, maybe he's a good guy deep down. Okay, I'll play that. So the first session comes around, and because I'm playing the stoic and silent type, I am stoic and silent. I barely talked at all, and it was boring. So I had to throw that characterization completely
Common
out the
pitfall.
window. It was definitely give yourself a character that allows you to talk. I mean, if you could play silent and stoic and make it work, like for example, with the McElroys, they had another campaign in the Adventure Zone where they had a guy who he didn't talk very much. He spoke very much like Aster does. Very straightforward, to the point, simple sentences. I believe it was in Graduation, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember the character's name. But it can
Fearbold?
work. It was a Fearbold, yes.
His name was Fearbold.
Oh, his name was Fearbold. That's right.
And he was a Fearbold, because he didn't have a name.
He was. That's right. He was just Fearbold. He was a good character. So it can be pulled off. If you want to go the silent stoic route, there are ways to do it. I, being very inexperienced, had no idea how to do that and keep it interesting. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this is my first ever campaign. Maybe I should focus a little less on character personality and just learning how to play. Because that's what you really need. Like, you gotta know how to get through battles. I kind of just watched other people's interactions to kind of gauge what they were doing. I didn't really give myself an accent because that was too much to keep track of at the time. And eventually we came across our first battle, and I got used to those mechanics pretty easily. That one wasn't too bad at all. And everyone explained everything very, very clearly. After that, things just kind of fell into place. Again, I was mostly just being myself. But I was able to kind of get a backstory out of that, you know? I had no idea what I was doing, therefore Alar had no idea what he was doing. Well, he's been a thief his whole life. He's never sailed on a ship before. Oh, but what if he's one of those people? So the backstory was he's from a prominent family of thieves. Like they're, basically it's the family legacy. And they're very good at what they do. So I started thinking about, well, why are they good at what they do? Like, why is Alar so out of his element? Wouldn't he be good at like doing stuff on the fly if he's a thief? How about no? How about everything is laid out for him to ensure that the mission goes smoothly? So he's never had to think on the fly before. He's never had to improvise before. And I just kind of ran with that. And once I had that in place, I was really starting to have fun. Because then I was able to kind of play with not only was I just like kind of being myself, but I was also able to like really bring my character to life, which I really enjoy. Like, I love bringing characters to life. So I was having a blast. Biggest fear, like now that we've talked about my first ever campaign, it like Ori said, my coworkers did offer a chance for me to join their D&D campaign. I think my fear is like, these people know my work personality, but they don't know my outside of work personality. Unless one of them happens to be in stream, which if so, hi! I know I posted about this to Instagram a couple times and they do follow me there, so who knows, maybe.
That's what I thought, PCM.
But yeah, one of my fears was definitely like, how am I able to be myself or even just be a character when they know me as, you know, the smiling person at guest service? But also by that point, I got used to a very certain play style being in Ori's group. Like, we just have a vibe that really works off each other, and we all, like, know what to expect from each other as well. And so Ori and I have made it very clear that we are not the horny bard type.
Yes. Oh.
This group is very much the horny bard type. And back when I was going to join, unfortunately it didn't work out because of schedule conflictions. My character was originally going to just be an empty suit of armor. Because I was like, okay, if we're the type of group to make horny bard jokes, I don't want to have a gender. Because I don't want to get roped into anything weird.
I don't want to be a part of that.
So, yeah, Alphonse Elric was my inspiration, essentially. Just like, yeah, no, I have no gender. I'm a suit of armor, thank you very much. But, no, they're good people, and I'm still in the loop with how their session is going. It is chaotic, but it does seem very fun, and I am very glad that they're having fun. Because that's what you want when you play D&D.
Yeah, if you're having
Heck yeah,
fun, that's
Jamie, you feel me. Hi
yeah.
again, Cinder.
Hello.
Oh hey.
Yeah,
hey.
you
How's
can't
it
sneak
going?
up. You can't sneak
Going
up.
good.
No, I can't
Mars
sneak
is
up
quick
and
on the
anything
draw
more.
here. Look at that.
I came in, I heard the very end of what you were talking about, and I just wanted to say that I also pretty regularly basically play asexual characters. I don't know what led to that conversation, but I enjoy playing genderless and asexual characters very much.
You were
Oh,
talking about
same.
fears of Mars. Mars is being the newest, sort of player of D&D or any TTRPG.
Any trepidations that I had.
Yeah, what trepidations you might have had. And one of them was a group that definitely did very horny bard vibes.
Yeah, that's not for me.
Especially when it's like your work colleagues.
Yeah.
You just don't know how that vibe
You're
is
like,
gonna
"No."
go down, and then you gotta go to work the next day.
The only genuinely like horny characters that I have played with that I have really enjoyed was when I was playing with a group of friends whom we've all known each other for like 15 years, and it was basically like two characters decided it would be really players decided it would be really fun if they both fell in love with like pretty much every NPC and
Oh,
like
jeez.
immediately started trying to compete for them. And it was, but it was entirely played for laughs, and it was also like we are people that have known each other for so long and have like ribbing each other and giving each other a hard
So you're
time.
very close knit.
Very close, and close in a way that like there's no way that it would either be misconstrued as something serious, and also like a group of friends that is very comfortable with like making fun of each other, and like we're used to it. There's a certain there's a certain amount of like connection and friendship there that allows for a space of like getting really, really weird.
I
and
feel
it
like
being
that's
okay.
the kind of bond you need in order to get really, really weird.
It's very much a
Yeah.
joke at that point, right? Like everybody
and
knows.
everyone's in on it.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be in on.
Exactly,
Consent to the
exactly.
joke.
Exactly.
Consent.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But
I'm on the wrong line.
yeah. So those were some of my fears. Chat. But honestly, they did not last very long. Especially with the group I had. They were very welcoming. They still walk me through the process very much because I am still learning.
Ori, what is the name of the tree that has big thorns?
Hawthorn? Locust? You like locust. That was the one you liked. Locust?
Is it a locust? A locust what?
Tree.
It's just called a locust tree?
This is called a locust, yeah. Just not a bug, a tree.
Okay, cool.
You liked those. Acacia also has pretty big thorns, but I think locust is what you liked. If I remember correctly.
Okay, thank you.
Mark your bingo if you didn't mark it before. But I was gonna say
Why is there a
something.
tree? Is it like a tree?
There's an Ori mentions
Oh, there's
trees.
a
yeah.
tree. There's a tree spot.
This magic tree that I'm drawing armor for right now, guys, is based off the hawthorn. And I was actually, the next tree that I was going to do was originally going to be based off a willow. However, I sort of changed that idea because, willows aren't really, they don't really do seeds very much. I mean, they do seed, obviously, that's how trees work. But they don't, that's not like their big thing, right? Their big thing is that they pop up new ones out of the ground that are clones of themselves. But this tree is very interesting because this tree actually lifts off the ground and then floats to other places. So I'm like, okay, what's a tree that would have like floaty vibes? And you know what I was thinking now? I was thinking that it should be based on a cottonwood tree. Because cottonwoods,
Ooh.
like most populous trees, poplars, and aspens are poplars, they have essentially the tree equivalent of dandelion fluff seeds. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. That would make a tree fluffy and float around, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's where we're at.
And you know, I think it's a tree not most people would know, so now you get to show them.
Indeed. It is a top tier tree. It sadly is kind of considered a weed sometimes, and very, very short lived. It's a short lived tree.
Oh, poor little tree.
It's what it's meant to be. It's what it's meant to do.
Such is life.
You should just make all spells tree based, dude. That's the ticket. Oh yeah, I mean Hawthorns hurt. Hawthorns also get infected. I think when you cut yourself on them very easily, very quickly.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that palms are incredibly deadly?
No, I did not.
Like the knot tree. They're not trees. They're grasses. Well, they're woody herbs, but not your hand palm. Okay, they're incredibly dangerous. They're one of the most dangerous things to trim. And
why are they so dangerous?
Yes. Well, first of all, they have something called a skirt, and this is when the fronds die back. Right. All right. So we'll do a little diagram here. I like my diagrams. You have the trunk, the stem, and then you have all of the fronds coming off of it like this, right? When fronds die, they then droop down and they hang down like this. Okay? This is called the skirt. Lots of people don't like that. They don't like how it looks. It looks ugly. Lots of dead shit. Yeah, so we have people climb up there to cut them off and prune them. However, if you do it wrong, you're in underneath this thing. Okay?
Uh-oh.
And it is very dense. If you prune it wrong and it falls on top of you, you suffocate and die.
Holy shit!
Another secret thing. Inside this skirt, there are secret little pointy barbs. They hurt. They painful. And just like I said with the hawthorn, they get incredibly, incredibly infected and you die.
Well then! I bet we're all thinking about palms a lot differently now.
Last thing is that when you climb them, right, and it's really, really dry, and you use a chainsaw on all this dry stuff, you can light it on fire. And now you're sitting at the top of a big candle. How grand.
Lovely.
If you mess up, you get stabbed, suffocated, and cooked.
That is a horrible way to go out.
PCM, oh my god. Yes, holly leaves are painful. Yeah, but while this is true, Jamie, people don't plant those trees as decoration and make people go up and prune them for fun.
Ori, I shall let you talk about trees a bit. I'm going to get some water just as you did.
How dare you do the same
We
thing
did shake on it, Ori. We did shake on it.
That we did. That's true,
BRB, everybody.
They do take it as a challenge.
Hi, I'm still here. I can talk. Hi.
You are. Me. Hello. It is you. Cinder.
What's up?
No problem. We're talking about the deadliness of palm knot trees. They're not trees. They're not trees.
What is a tree anyway? Who's to say? Science has yet to give us an answer.
This is a lie. Science has a very specific answer.
What is the other? Okay, let me guess. It's taller. It has nothing to do with height, is my first guess.
It definitely does not really have to do with height, no. It does not.
Does it have to do with wood?
That wood is involved, yes. Wood is
So
important.
does it have to do with like but I'm sure it's not calling it wood. Does it have to do with like the circulatory system of it?
It does. That is involved, yes.
Does it like it has to have little tubes that are all mushed together really tensely in a way that becomes hard and you can burn it really well, and it's uses is it tube related? Is it little tubes equal wood related?
Kind of. But you're kind of getting away from it. Like all of these are involved, but these are more like later on.
Okay.
There's the problem, Jamie. The problem, Jamie, is that we have identified that palms are not trees incredibly far back on the taxonomic scale. All right, like really far back. However, it is vascular happens first, Cinder. So you're right there. It does have to have a vascular. It is a vascular plant. Plants that are not vascular plants are ferns and mosses. They're not vascular. They don't have the tubes, the xylem and the phloem, to take up the water very high up, so they can't grow particularly tall. You ever seen a really tall fern or tall moss? But we're a step after that. Unfortunately, palms do have this. Palms are vascular plants. So is grass. So is bamboo. That's why they can get so tall. No. You give up?
I give up.
Okay, what separates palms and trees, or herbaceous plants and trees, is something called cotyledons. Which is how many leaves they have when they're baby plants. Grasses and herbaceous plants are monocots. They have one baby leaf, where trees, woody trees and shrubs, are dicots and have two baby leaves. That's it. That's the easy way to put it.
Ah, okay, that was my second guess.
Yeah, I believe you. You took a little there.
Yeah.
Hello, audio. Yes, that is your fault, audio. I will say.
Audio chaos. Sounds chaotic.
You've been lied to your entire life, Atathis?
I just said something so clever. I
what?
said audio chaos sounds chaotic.
You know? Might be true.
Audio is sounds.
I get it.
Hey, audio, welcome back.
Welcome back to the chaos, apparently.
Yes. It's always a good time when there's chaos.
All right.
No worries, audio, no worries.
PCM, did you defy your DM?
Always. Well then. You can only control them so much, audio. They're rowdy.
That is true.
They get rowdy.
I mean, Dylan can't stop us from talking about the watery grave every 5 seconds.
Though he tries.
Oh, he tries. It didn't work. We just talked about it more.
No, once he tried to threaten me that if I kept talking about Gormo, that he would put Gormo in the new Pathfinder campaign.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man.
And I was not having any of that. No.
Ori, that'd be a dangerous game you're playing.
Well, it thankfully didn't come to fruition.
Oh, yet.
No. He took it
back.
back.
A whole campaign.
No. He took it back. If he puts Gormo in now, he's a liar. That's all I'm gonna say.
A betrayer.
It was specifically Gormo though, right? Not like a TPK in general. He made no promises about that. Because unfortunately,
well, I will say this: if Miss Molly happens to get a lightning rapier, she's using the crap out of it. If anything, because ooh, pretty.
Indeed. No, if anything, our continuous talking about the TPK has actually spurred Dylan to want more TPKs because it's very memorable. That was his statement. Yeah, I know. You and I are not for that.
Not necessarily.
Hey,
it's just an outlier.
Yeah, that is why we talk about it. It's just an outlier. Here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about not the TPK, but an almost TPK that I also remember very vividly. We were fighting a skeletal dragon. Our sorcerer, terrified of dragons, had used all of his spell slots in order to try and slay the beast. But it was no use. It still fought on. The fighter cracked down, poking and stabbing with his polearm, but it was no use, as he was slain by the dragon. Lying unconscious,
Dumb cat.
the cleric ran to his side, but no avail, as the cleric too was struck down on his path to save the fighter, with only the spell slotless sorcerer cowering in the corner, cantrip after cantrip trying to set off. The cleric made a death save. And then another death save. And on that second death save, the cleric rolled so well, a nat 20, that he got up, used the last of his strength to heal the fighter. The fighter got up and dealt the final blow to the skeletal dragon, just as it dealt its final blow to the sorcerer, who fell down to the ground, dead, dying. Failed one save, cleric running towards him, failed another save, cleric sprinting, failed the third death save. The sorcerer died. But even though the now possessed fighter, possessed by the shard that animated the skeletal dragon, walked out into the night, out of the cave to do maliciously terrible, evil things, the cleric took a diamond and indeed stabbed it into the chest of the sorcerer, for which he let out a gasp of breath. He lived, and they both hobbled off into the night after the fighter.
Damn.
See? Also memorable, huh? Not a TPK. Everybody lived.
Praise be Revivify.
Praise do be Revivify. Praise be Revivify, indeed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, audio, you can only control so much.
Such is life.
PCM didn't want to be contained.
PCM is never contained. Are you kidding?
This is very true. Okay.
Guys, I think my cat is broken.
Oh no.
So not only did she go crazy, so I was on my bed earlier. I was sitting on my bed with the laptop, but my laptop is running out of charge. So I get up, I move over to the desk. Now, my cat, I have not tried rebooting the cat, but I will look into that.
Oh
My
no.
cat is on a
Sorry.
schedule. She comes in at 10 o'clock at night, and she wants to cuddle on the bed. No exceptions. So as soon as I get up from the bed to go sit at my desk so I can charge my laptop, she immediately jumps up and follows me over to the desk and just continues to rub up against everything in sight and like scratch at my ankles for attention. She's rubbing up against the wall, but I think she misjudged how close the wall was, because I'm listening to your story, Ori, and all I hear is just thud. I'm like, what the heck? She's trying to do that purr up against the wall, like, when a cat rubs their cheek against something.
Mm-hmm.
She hit the wall too hard.
Oh god.
And just slammed her head into it.
Poor kitty.
I'm like, you dumb cat. What are you doing? Do you want to be on stream that badly? My
She's like,
goodness.
No, I want you to get off stream. No, we
Well,
have
she's-
Mars for another 20 minutes at
to be
least.
patient. Silly cat.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
You did reboot the cat?
She really did roll a 1.
Nat 1.
You're like, yes, DM, I'd like to try to purr against the wall. I rolled a 1. How did I do? Well, you don't really purr against it, more like bodily slam your head into it. So there's that. But yes, I am making fun of you. What are you going to do about it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't trade her for anything, though.
All right.
Yes, employ that reverse psychology.
That's the secret.
Works every time. Throw in some operant conditioning and you're golden.
Mars breaking out the sciencey words here. I was not ready for that. Okay, I like this. It gives the illusion
operant
of abs.
conditioning. Oh, I won't interrupt.
No, go on. It just gives the illusion of abs.
Ooh, that is nice. So audio chaos by operant conditioning. I assume that is what your hum meant. Operant condition is basically the person completes the action you want them to accomplish, and you give them a reward for it. Therefore, they are incentivized to repeat the action because they associate it with something positive.
I see. Oh no. I see.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be something positive. It's more just like the association of something paired with an action. I believe operant condition can also work in
So like Pavlov?
like negatively as well. Pavlov, yeah, exactly.
Okay, there you go.
That's a classic example of operant conditioning.
There you go, audio.
Well, it's not necessarily rewards PCM, but hey, if Audio Chaos decides to look into it,
It can be rewards.
it could be rewards.
See, that's the ticket. See, PCM.
Commit social interaction?
PCM, that's how I get you to stay here all the time, right? That's how I get you to play games. Just with the thought of drawing Neffy, you know? That's
Speaking of games, Ori, when are we playing Play It Up?
Again, once we finish Rise from the Ashes, that's our next arcade cabinet is Plate Up.
Alrighty,
So,
cool.
Hopefully, I'm uncertain if we're gonna do any more investigation though, but I think we have to. That's just how the game goes.
There's gotta be another investigation segment.
So probably
we don't
sometime
know anything.
Mid-January. You're right. I don't know why Goodman's dead. I know everything else though. You know, like everything else we
know
got
everything about the fake murder.
Yeah,
and
that's
Marshall
true.
and his angst. I know nothing about Goodman,
Yeah, Goodman's
except
an
that he's
enigma.
likely an alien. He is very likely to be.
Exactly, Bart Starter. Exactly. See, it's because the way that the wood grain works, right, is that it goes from this like
Mind blown, dude.
goes from this like dark black gray color into this blue color. And what that allows for is apparently the accidental illusion of abs. Which is what I got right here.
Accidental illusion.
It was not the plan to have this be an illusion of abs.
It just kind of worked that way.
It did.
But it's
It really
very
did.
lovely.
So that's how we're going with it.
I like it.
Yeah, so oh no, but PCM, I don't know what I'm gonna do when you reach those 35,000 points. Then how am I gonna bribe you for anything anymore? I guess you'll have to get Polaroid and Andromeda or
Yes.
Alexia art then too. Save up again.
Oh, bring them all in.
AU nerp
Nerp,
whatever.
nope,
Whew.
Midnight Brain.
That's mark it down.
You guys should have bingo by now.
2 people got bingo already. 2 people got.
Oh,
were you not
good.
here? You were here.
I might have been getting water.
No. You were here. 2 people got bingo
I was
while you
here?
were here. Yeah.
Okay, then I just disassociated.
Yeah,
for
you
those
just
2
went out.
seconds.
You just poof.
My
Yeah.
brain just went elevator music. Okay, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Yeah. T-Dude, Anna, and PCM both got bingo.
Nice.
And remember, you can get more
nice.
than 1 bingo, guys. So you should keep playing.
Keep playing. Get those points.
Yeah.
Get those points. That's the goal.
Okay.
Okay.
What am I doing here?
Silly cat, come lay on this.
This is definitely armor. I
Settle
like
down.
it. I think it's good. I think it's nice. I was concerned.
I really like that wood grain texture.
Well,
And
Thank
I
you.
like the colors of the cape as well. That is nice.
it's all based on the tree, you know, because everything's made out of the tree, in the tree, part of the tree, you know, all that.
In the tree, part of the tree.
Oh,
Oh.
Cinder.
Yes.
Since we ended up mentioning my SoundCloud on your stream the other day, I actually have made another song. Like I recorded and posted another song since then, because you like
Really?
reminded me of it because of that. Yeah, just today.
Huh. Cool.
I'm
Good. Do you like it?
yeah, I like it. I don't. It's not
Horror
as
songs are usually pretty
it's
good.
not a banger like Windows on the Wall is. The Ballad of Drakenfell is more of like a you know, like a bar shanty, you know? So
Mm.
it's very fun.
Which, you know, vibe. Like, total vibe.
Bart starter. Ooh, boat combat is rough, PCM. I'm assuming that your DM made that boat combat, or are they using something else?
I don't think... Are there rules for boat combat?
No, not at all. Indeed, no. 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 You give D&D 5e too much credit.
Apparently I do.
You do. You really do.
You know, I thought someone might have devised a spreadsheet or an explanation somewhere.
Oh, I bet
that
people have done it.
used.
I bet people have done it. However, they haven't done it.
Mm. Big difference.
So I was
Big,
just
big
curious as to if the DM that PCM is talking about was using their own or their you know, like a found one, you know.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. I think that's the vibe. Yeah? I think this is the vibe. Let me undarken this a little bit. And undarken that a little bit.
Brighten it up a bit. Why not?
Yeah, undarken, indeed. Undarken. That's what we're calling it. Okay, and now see, okay. This is the magic multiply trick, guys. If you're doing digital art and you ain't using multiply, I don't know. Now I can't remember if I shaded with blue or I shaded with the gray. I think I shaded with blue. Now I don't know what I'm doing.
You'll figure it out.
Oh, that's so funny, PCM. Modern day Noof AU.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What's the outfit? See, that matters. What's the outfit? What are the streamer outfit vibes? Imagine we just had cutouts of our character faces and we did like a camera.
Oh
I
my gosh,
can't.
that would look like I think Uncanny Valley.
It would be very funny. I really just need to get my wardrobe up to a point where I can actually cosplay Camden instead of like.
I can teach you all about that.
It's more just like, where am I gonna get this freaking like teal vest? You know, I got the shirt.
Well, that you might unfortunately have to make.
Yeah, the shirt's fine. Honestly, literally everything else I could do. I'd have to make the pants too. They're like lace-up things, and I'm so sad. I want my boots to exist. I want Camden's boots to exist, but they don't, sadly. That would be horrific. Please do it. Oh, goodness. Cinder technically cosplayed his avatar once upon a time.
Really?
When did I do that?
When
I was
you had
hoping
the
you could tell us.
the pink candy beard and the glasses, that was the inspiration of the Cinder portrait.
Oh yeah, that was like a long time ago though.
Still did it. It's still been done.
But is it a cosplay of a character when it is the creation of a character?
I would say
Absolutely.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
then, because my visage started as that's where it came
As
from.
a cosplay. Yeah, no. People make original characters by cosplay.
Well, then that's
all the
me.
time.
I'm an original. Listen, my dear lady friends. I'm a classy dude. Okay, I'm a classy dude. I'm a little bit cheap and a little bit scraggly, but I'm still classy.
You might have to make that coat though, Cinder.
You made it. I'm wearing it right now.
Saying that's the IRL fashion trend, huh?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I do like this.
Are you guys hearing all my typing?
Yes.
Should I mute myself?
No,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
fine. I mean, you're fine.
No, don't worry about muting. It's honestly
Everybody
you don't
hears
even
my
pick up
typing.
on it.
It's also ASMR. This is why we get the ASMR
This is
rating.
why we get labeled as an ASMR channel.
Mona Lisa ASMR Fibonacci sequence.
We also get ASMR whenever Dylan does Marshall or whenever we're reading
Munch.
a character description or a story in our dungeon master voice. This is how we got the ASMR label.
IRL space, T-Dude, is black. However, the second you get, like, galaxies and shit going on, it can be whatever goddamn color you want. I gotta tell you that when we talk about, like, colors of space, not the movie with Nick Cage or the Lovecraft short story, but when you talk about colors of space, we don't even see well enough to see all the colors of space. We're not even talking like visible light stuff. Like stars are probably all different colors. We're just not good at seeing it, like as humans. Like why are there no green stars? No, there are. We're just bad at seeing green. Like it's a whole thing.
I bet a mantis shrimp could see it though.
Yes, a mantis shrimp probably could see it. But that's such as life. So, it's hard to tell. It's hard to know. Who knows? No one will ever know.
So.
It's also, and then if you take like other spectral imaging sequences of space, it's wild freaking colors because we translate that information into different colors. It's crazy stuff. I see, Jamie.
There's layers. The rabbit hole goes so deep.
Well, yeah, exactly, TJ. That's an atmosphere thing. That atmost sphere,
Yes. Gotta have that atmosphere.
Does Neffy know about all of this nerd stuff then, PCM? That's the question. See, look, you already do have Art of Neffy. She's drinking tea right there. There it is. I feel like PCM comes in and then just never has any idea what's going on for 1 second, and then he's like, oh, I realize what's happening. No, I appreciate that. I am more than excited.
Not Ori art, but it's still lovely.
I am more than excited to get to draw the noof eventually. I like wings, so like I'm ready for that. I gotta say, Also, eyes will be fun. But honestly, I'm mostly looking forward to the wings and the glow that the halo's gonna get. Because vibes, ASMR vibes. vibes. ASMR or ASMR?
Is there that much of a difference?
I feel like in Neffy's case, the ASMR of her being an ASMR would be more equivalent, like all the time, and I don't know if that's particularly soothing to anybody. Oh, I brought up a good point earlier. I don't know what this good point is. Ah, yes. What is her streamer drip? It's very important. My streamer drip right now is overalls and they're pink and white and pink overalls. I very much love them, but they're not particularly comfy. So they're fashionable. However, what I'm wearing underneath them is a completely different pink long sleeve, like worn out tourist trap shirt from North Carolina. That does not go at all. It's a completely different pink.
What a vibe.
And slippers.
That's an iconic look.
Slippers. Yeah. I was much more fancy when Mars was over, though. When Mars was over, I had the drip on.
You look like you step out of like a Beatrix Potter novel.
That's my favorite thing.
Gotta be honest.
That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing to do. When I get dressed
you had
up.
that whole fancy cottagecore tea time going.
All I needed was an apron.
If I'd known, I would have worn a skirt. You should have told me.
It's more
I
just
came in
sometimes
pants and a sweatshirt.
I'm like feel like it, you know. It was also I made it like Christmas tea, right? Because it was like the new plate thing and like the sandwiches and all.
All right, I'll
stuff.
make up for it next week. I'll make up for it next week. I gotta.
What is happening with the watermelon?
I'm sorry, what now?
Who are you quoting audio? That's the question.
I mean, I have heard of people doing that. I don't know why, but I know it is a thing. I just don't know how we got to this topic.
I see, Jamie.
Oh, Neffy says that in the streamer AU.
I see.
Does she at least try?
Well, the but implies that either she's going to try or that she knows she can, but only because she like goes to the gym. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, see, the ticket is the idea of that like you can, but solely because it's like you go to the gym and you work on those like machines, right? Oh, you did the math. You know, audio. That's the vibe. Doing the math. Once you Cinder, tell me if you agree or disagree. But once you start doing the math, like any math for TTRPGs, like hardcore, especially like balancing math or like best combo math, right? That's when you've like hit peak nerd, like TTRPG nerd.
Say that again. Like
when you start doing the math for like balancing or like trying to find the best like skill combinations or like damage output or whatever, like or you're translating all your stuff from like your stats into the real world doing the math to see if you can crush a watermelon between your legs with your strength stat, like that's when you become the true tabletop RPG nerd. Like yeah, that's the moment. Yeah,
but there's also like I feel like there's a way to be, there's like a way to be a tabletop RPG nerd and to have that as like an aspect of you, but also to not suck. You know what I mean? Like there's an element of that I'm kind of like really eye rolly at, and I feel like you can be considered a nerd.
So you're talking about the cringe.
Yeah, I guess what I just mean is like I feel like there is an element in the gamifying of D&D that is for some people really awesome, and it might be really awesome. I'm realizing that I sound like I'm belittling it, but I'm not intending to. But it's not. I don't think it is a. It's one of those like all sharks are fish, but not all fish are sharks kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh no, this is not the only way to be a nerd. This is by far by no means the only way to be a nerd.
There are many ways to be a
nerd.
Nerd.
But if you do this, you don't have any excuse. I see. Like Dylan has no excuse.
As a nerd.
Dylan has no excuse. Dylan multiple times will come to me and talk about how much he enjoys doing the balancing or min-maxing math. So, it's like, there's no excuse now, right?
Yes, no, he just is a nerd. Yes.
It's done. He doesn't have to paint minis. He doesn't have to cosplay. He doesn't have to be, like, talking about their characters all the time. And, none of that else has to matter. This step already happened.
Yes. I understand. I understand now. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, T-Dude, I guess the question really is how much pressure does it take to crack a skull versus crush a watermelon? Like, what's the, is it much harder to crack a skull than a watermelon? I don't know.
It's surely it's much harder. How could it not be?
I don't know. There's a lot of times when, like, the human body is way not as strong as you hope it is. Like, I don't know. Like,
that's a funny phrase.
It really
it's
is.
like usually times of adrenaline or when like the human body gets pushed to its ultimate capacity.
You get two options when it comes to like learning crazy shit about the human body. Either it's way more fragile than you thought it was, or you're way stronger than you thought you were. Compared to the animal
no
kingdom.
in between.
Like, it's really weird. It's like an odd dynamic. I don't know. You're not like, we're average. No, it never happens.
Yeah.
No. I feel that, PCM. We did that with Milano and Houghton. That's why Band-Aid exists.
Too many. Okay. Band-AU is literally the ship AU, but so would Demon AU be. I mean, come on.
That's true. But we definitely don't have as clear a plot line for Demon AU as we do Band-Aid.
You don't, because we sort of, they are, Jamie, they are. We sort of got to, like, we got into Band AU, and then we sort of, like, thought about Demon AU, and then it's like, oh god, the story's coming out. Like, oh god, here it is.
Like, oh crap.
Gotta focus on the actual shit now. I was shading today. I shaded 16 panels today. Got 28 left to shade. We going? It just means that I could, and I did, and am able to remaster a whole thing in the span of like 2 months.
Holy crap. That is some raw talent.
We go. It's more just drive at this point.
Willpower, too.
Yeah, there you go. I had Muto's heart shard.
You really did.
He wanted me to succeed.
Oh,
yeah.
By the way, Cinder,
We
Mob Psycho 100 is done. The series has ended. You have no excuse not to watch it now. It's
It
not
is
like
so
you
good.
need to pay
It is
catch
so
up
good.
Or wait for more seasons. It is done. It is all there. 36 episodes. Watch it.
It's amazing.
And it ends,
it's fantastic.
It ends well. It ends
Oh,
well.
It
so
ends
good.
beautifully.
We were
I was jumping on the
dying
couch.
today.
I must have looked insane if anyone was watching me at Ori's house today.
It was,
Seriously,
we were
I must have
dying,
looked insane.
screaming, crying. Oh, it was so good. All of the emotions.
Singing, chanting, rooting for the characters. It was
stunned
a time.
silence. It got everything.
Oh, lots of stunned
Everything.
silence.
Okay.
So,
It was pain,
do it.
but it was wonderful.
Okay.
So good.
Okay.
You have to now.
I hear.
That's your winter project.
Over winter break, Cinder. I know. You know. You're, when you have homework a lot of the time, it takes a lot of work.
No, this is your homework. It's due to us when January comes.
This is your
Oh,
winter
okay.
course. This is your
Okay.
winter term.
Hi, welcome to Intro to Anime 101.
First up, gun swords. Then we move to Mob Psycho. And now all I need is season 3 of One Punch Man, please.
One day. We are getting Blue Exorcist for some reason.
I know,
so...
but cool. I wasn't waiting for that.
It's like I have not thought about that anime since I watched it. Like, I read fan fictions here and there, but that's about it.
That is very true. My first anime was Fairy Tail. That was it.
Mine was Attack on Titan. explains a lot.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? But what is happening here? I'm shading. That's what I'm doing.
Oof. See,
Melons.
PCM, I still for as not great at SAO is, I would still say it's a good intro anime because it gives you bits and pieces of what a story can be. So it's like, okay, this is good, but then as you get more into anime, you're like, oh, but this is how it could have been better. So I still think SAO is a good gateway. Just stop before the fairy arc. That's all I say.
Well, that's the second one. I saw SAO kind of late in the game. I had watched a lot more anime first, and Dylan and I were actually watching the like abridged, and we were like, okay, maybe we should watch it just so like the abridged will be funnier, and then we just stopped. We were like, nope, this is we can't do this.
Well, you know, they start off with an amazing premise, and they seem to actually be like committing to the premise.
When he started
and then they screw off for 2 episodes. Like, no, let's go live on the 56th floor like a happy married couple. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
that one got me. That
you're
one got
in
me.
a death game, and
that
your bodies are dying in the real world.
And
what
then,
is wrong
we have
with
a kid, but it's a glitch in the game.
Yeah, that didn't
really
make any
game?
sense.
I don't know. However,
No, my favorite, if anyone has seen it, look up. I believe it's by a guy called Giguk. It's SAO in 5 minutes. I don't know if you'd want to show it here, Ori, but it is the funniest freaking thing I have seen in my life. Best part is when they meet the guy at the end of the first arc, just like they did in anime, and Kirito's like, so why did you want to trap people in a game? And he's like, I don't know, seems legit.
Yeah, no, that's the vibe. No, literally, PCM jinxed you. No, SAO isn't horrible. It's just incredibly disappointing. I think is
it's
the,
wasted
is
potential.
the best way to describe it. It's not the worst possible thing in the world, not at all.
No,
it's just
definitely not. I have seen the worst in
incredibly
the world.
disappointing. I think that's all. That's the only way to put it. Right? It is just like disappointing.
It's one of those anime that I point to, or one of those stories that I point to, where I'm just like, yeah, this is one where the romance really railroaded the show and killed it for me. Because up till then, I was enjoying a action adventure with actual stakes and a premise I had not seen before at that point. I was like, okay, fine, you want to throw a romance in, all right. But then they literally railroad it to go live a domestic life. I was like, how dare you interrupt my very cool plot for this fluff?
You can love it. Fairy Tail is by far not a perfect anime either. It goes on way too long.
Oh yeah.
No,
I agree, Audio Chaos. That was egregious. I will never understand why. SAO in particular really has that problem. Even with the most recent one, Alicization, they're still doing it. And I'm like, stop. Like, stop using it as an excuse.
Yes.
Space Dandy is underrated.
I love Space Dandy.
Nekonomican. I absolutely love Space Dandy. It's so surreal. I love it.
You're getting there, Anima. You gotta win more bingo, Anima. That's the secret.
What are they using? I don't know.
Essay.
What are they using?
Essay.
Oh yeah.
It's an acronym.
No, I know that. I just didn't know.
No. They were asking. That's what they are using.
Oh, okay.
Now I have to check because now that everybody's confused, I have to make sure that I know what it is.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
I'm very certain.
I just don't know if we can say it out loud, being on stream and all.
We can. It's sexual assault.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
wouldn't say
either,
it in
Audio.
chat,
That's why I was kind of tap dancing.
But
I'll say
it. I'll say it out loud. Oh, Jamie's above Anima. One step above.
Oh man.
Okay, I gotta do the higher thing now. At glue.
Yeah, no, the show is egregious for using SA to get in some fan service shots, which is disgusting. So, not great.
I will
Definitely not
say, the first thing if you type in what is SA into Google that comes up is Urban Dictionary, and now it doesn't tell you what it actually means. It tells you South Australia. It's an abbreviation for South Australia. So, there you go.
Okay, so guys, we're talking about South Australia.
Wink, wink, a nudge, a nudge. I cannot wink.
A wink. You can't wink, Ori?
No, not in real life. I can, not as my avatar. And we
I
don't
was
have
about
the
to
Milano
say,
things
I'm
anymore.
pretty sure I've seen you wink.
Oh no, no,
before.
no! I can wink. If winking is genetic, then my father has very much passed on the winking gene.
Aw, poor Neffy. She can learn though. Anything can be learned.
There's a lot of eyes to keep track of, so I don't blame her.
Oh, that's true.
That's probably like
That would make it harder.
yeah, exactly. That's what,
Yeah.
Just if you close just one of them, I would count that as winking. That's what I'm gonna
But if you
say.
close your eyes.
And it's only one, then it can be considered a wink. So just close
But
one
if
eye.
Close your eyes.
And then mark
Yeah, some
your
people
bingo
can't
card.
wink, Jamie. It-
One of our table
It
players
takes a
can't wink.
specific muscle to do that.
Okay. I need to tell the story. There's a game.
Okay, please do, because
It's
it
one of
sounds
my-
like you're
it's one of my-
dying.
it's one of my favorite card games ever, and it is it is a great game. It's a tabletop game, like not an RPG. It's like a board game, and it's called Shifty-Eyed Spies. And the whole idea is that you are coordinating secretly with all the other players on the table in order to make quote unquote a drop off at a specific location with a specific player. So you get a card and it has a character on it, and you have to essentially wink at the person who has this character, who is playing this character, and then they have to look at a location that's set up as like 3D things on the board, and then you relate. But the whole point is that you have to wink in order to play this game, right? And the more secretive you can wink and make it not obvious to anybody except the person you want to, the better you are, because people can like intercept and call you out. So one of our players, the player that plays Casimir right now, we were playing this game with him and Dylan and I, and it's great. And, you know, Dylan and I are killing it, in sync, total stuff. Casimir, he turns his head to the side, right? So now we're all watching everybody because you're trying to like catch people in the act. So he turns his head to the side. The intention was to turn his head to the side profile, wink with the eye that was away from the rest of the circle so that only the person he was looking at could see him wink. He didn't do that. He winked with the eye that everybody could see, and everybody simultaneously had a moment where we went, Casimir, you winked with the wrong eye. And like we all threw down the intercept thing, and we were like, yeah, hold on, wait. And that was my favorite thing ever. It was so hilarious. That's true audio. There is so many to watch. You can move your entire... What do you mean by that, PCM? That would have been funny, Jamie. That would have been funny, but he did not. He did not. She could
Truly
just close a lot of
PCM.
them at once and then only have 2 open, maybe? I don't know. Okay, PCM. Alright then. Cool. Great. What am I doing? Why is this not doing what I want? Because I'm on the wrong tool.
Because
Okay.
I'm on the wrong tool. It's the wrong tool. I thought it was right, but then it was the wrong tool. You know that song?
I do know that song. I sing it all the time
Love
because
that
I was
song.
on the wrong tool, you know? Diddle dang.
Diddle dang.
Diddle dang.
It's the struggle of having the wrong tool.
shilling? What about a shilling? The unit of money? You know, people make fun of the American sort of like counting system and stuff, but have you ever looked up the British monetary system? Please.
No,
Please.
never.
Please. It's horrifying.
Sleepy time for you, Bart Starter? Alrighty.
Good night, Bar
Well,
Starter.
we already broke that. We ate way too many sweets today. And
Yeah,
we
way too many
hydrated with
sweets.
tea, so we're not doing very good, but we'll do better tomorrow.
I'm hydrating now. I'm on like my 3rd glass of water right now.
I grabbed seltzer water. I'm not
I
sure
see.
if this counts.
Maybe. But I think we might sign off too. I just looked at the time, and I do unfortunately have to get up kind of early tomorrow.
Oof.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I have too many things
Such
to
is
do,
life.
and one of them is at 8:30 in the morning. So,
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, you need your rest.
not even that. It's not like I have to be particularly awake for getting my nails done, but you know. All right,
Well-
guys. Thanks for hanging out. Always a pleasure to have you here too, Cinder. We had a really good turnout tonight, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you liked the story. We
Thank
love
you,
hearing
one
your
and all.
stories.
Absolutely. Thanks for putting up with our tangents. Hopefully we talked about some interesting things with Pathfinder and DMing as well. That was a bit of a new topic for us, so hope
was
you
fun.
all had fun with that.
All right then.
And
Have a
believe we're
Merry
on next
Christmas
week.
if you celebrate. Have a Happy Hanukkah if that's what you're doing this week. I hope all your finals are over. All your things are
yes.
turned in. All your grades will be good.
Enjoy being free from finals. If you have a break off work, enjoy that. Enjoy your time. Whatever holiday you're celebrating, have a good
And,
one.
Yeah, we will see you next Tuesday for games and stuff. So have a
Bye.
great weekend, guys. Good night.
Good night, all.